Welcome to Crappens. Don't wait a week for a new video. Join our Patreon at the Crappens On Demand level for instant recap access. Link in description. Enjoy the show. Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, the podcast for all that crap we just love to talk about on Ye Olde Brovs. I'm Ronnie. That's Ben over there. Hello, little Benini Tunes. What you doing?
Hi. How are you?
Good. Very excited over there today. I love it.
I got you know what? You woke me up. When I say woke up, like spiritually woke me up pre-show, because I came in today kind of like, oh man, I'm like everything that the reunion, it took a lot out of me. But now we had some chit chat, we talked about stuff, we gossiped, and now I'm like alive and I'm ready to podcast. So yeah, let's do it.
All you need is a little shit talking before you start. You know?
Oh man, it's the best.
Yeah. So everybody, welcome to the show today. Thanks for being here. It is an epic episode. It's a supersized Part 3 reunion finale of Salt Lake City. A lot of non-answers, a lot of crazy things happen. So we're going to dive into that. It'll probably be 10 parts. So just gorge yourselves. Also, tickets for the Crappies are on sale now for our show in LA on February the 17th. It's going to be a huge show for us. We're so excited to do it. You can also do prelim voting right now. You can find links over on our website, watchwhatcrappens.com. That's also where you'll find links to Patreon, where you can get this video, which we're talking on video right now. Hi, Crappens on Demand. And also bonus episodes. And guess what? Crappies will have a live streaming option ticket this year. We are working with Moment this year, again, when they do a great job. So if you guys can't make it to LA, guess what? You can now buy tickets. So go get those streaming tickets for February 17th.
Yeah.
That is a party.
By the way, sorry to interrupt. Hopefully by the time we're done recording, we will have the link and it'll be up on our site. But if it's not up by the time you listen to this, just check back again. Like, it's supposed to be coming to us like any minute now. Any minute, guys. The link is arriving. Any minute.
Second. That's a big party because that is like a couple thousand people usually or more. Online, there's a comment section that goes across the screen the entire show. Massive amounts of joke telling and shit talking going on in there. So that's just a super fun place to be. And that kind of talking won't get you kicked out of the show like it will at the LA show.
It won't.
Right, so,
but by the way, I'm sorry to really like tease out this moment, but I do want to say, honestly, thank you to everyone who has voted already. We've had like over 10,000 votes on our thing, and like the ballot is really fun. It's really fun to see what's going to make it, because we're going to take the top 5 in each category, and those will be the official nominations, which we will announce on February 5th, I believe. So definitely go and vote. You can vote for as many as you want in the categories, because it's all about getting that information. But once the nominations come out, you can only vote for one when that happens. So it's just going to be cool. I feel like this is going to be such a showdown between Reality Von Tease and Scandival this year. Like Vanderpump Rules, Salt Lake City, which is kind of funny because today is the final Salt Lake City episode. This time next week, Vanderpump Rules premiere. So like we have like these giants of Bravo and over the past year duking it out at the Crappies, but also on our airwaves right now. I'm like, this is a great time to be a Bravo viewer.
it really is. You know, we've been blessed.
We're hashtag blessed. Yeah.
Hashtag blessed. But guess what you're going to be blessed with right now? A 10-hour recap
10
of
hours.
the ending of this season of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Let's do this. Let's jump in. They really, this hot choir went fucking insane in the, you couldn't even hear what anybody was talking about. Now, first of all, there's a general note for the reunion. I know reunions are over talking and screeching over each other. That's the nature of the beast. I don't want the beast to change. Keep the beast the same. But I couldn't understand a lot of what was said during this reunion because I had to keep rewinding it to figure out what the fuck everybody was saying under each other. And also the Haws. I mean, the Trixie Monoclackle choir was like, listen here, we've been put on the back burner enough. I feel like you're using the boom, 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 boom more than you're using the Haws. So here's what we've done. We've brought in the boom, boom, doom, doom guy, and we've brought in the Haws. Hit it. I was like, whoa, who
Yeah.
who let Trixie into the cocaine stash? Because she
No.
was singing so loudly and so crazily, you couldn't even hear the beginning of the show.
It was wild. No, Trixie Base was like, she basically gathered the choir together and she's like, all right, everyone, now listen up, okay? Today we're going to New York City, okay? We normally work in Salt Lake City. We're going to the big city today, okay? It is media capital of the world. So you know what I want? I want the horse to be horse. I want the laws to be horse. We're bringing all the heat right now because this is our moment. First step is reunion. Next step, Saturday Night Live. Third step, Grammy Awards. Okay, put the vision out there, everyone.
And they got to it. I mean, it was a lot of hops.
did it.
I just picture a lot of computerized, like Siri ladies with white turtlenecks in the background, just kind of clapping on, on the ones and the ones and the twos,
The threes.
the ones and the threes, right?
Also known as my natural beat. Something I never realized until I started dating a dancer choreographer.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're back now at the Goonies set, as someone pointed out on Twitter. And Andy is like, wow, okay. God, the expressions that Meredith has been giving me this reunion. God, Meredith. And she's like, well, I'm me.
You've been giving me stink eye for 2 hours. Have I really? Where I'm from, that's called resting benzo face, Andy. Sorry, I've just been
It's
kind
called-
of zoning out. I don't know if you've noticed. I've got the crystal of power around my neck. What the fuck? Don't turn a light directly on Meredith because it's going to hit that crystal on her neck and burn a hole straight through her body. Did you notice that thing? What are you trying to kill ants in kindergarten? What is that? It looks like a magnifying glass.
Well, Andy, once this reunion's done, I'm going to climb up onto the bow of that ship that we have behind us and throw this jewel off into the ocean, Titanic style. So get ready for that.
It's been 84 years. Yeah, 20.
Near, far, wherever you are, my white bean salad will go on.
Brooksy will go on. You just see Brooksy snowshoeing across the waves, like. Psh, 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 psh.
Seth, paint me like one of your women. Okay. No, not motorboat me, Seth.
You just painted Whitney's boobs. You just painted Whitney's boob cake, Seth.
Amazing that all this is happening on the set behind them. So, because we do have to, I mean, I feel like we should remind people that there is a full-on ship. They built a ship behind Andy Cohen. It is like Pirates of the Caribbean back there.
Yeah.
It's
My favorite
Titanic.
part, I don't mind the set. Jeff Lewis went on to, I guess, Watch What Happens Live and was like, your set's stupid. Stop giving the gays so much control, which is hilarious. He's like, it's time to put your foot down. I didn't really, the thing that I noticed the most is just that anchor hanging off of the coffee table. I mean, that kills me. And it could kill one of them, This show really, and all the talk this episode and the past few episodes about safety and what are we doing for the cast safety, Andy? What are we doing? You want to know what he's doing? He's putting a fucking giant anchor right there where one of you dumbasses is going to trip over it and fall and hurt your damn selves. That's
Yeah,
what we
they
think
always
about your
have sort
safety
of
in
like
show.
the Salt Lake City reunion sets are always somewhere between like a Bravo reunion and like Double Dare, Like I feel like you have to like trip over the anchor, but then you also have to pull out a red flag from something, and then Angie's like, "Opa, dopa,
And
dopa
right
dare."
after this commercial break, where we're going to have the cast set themselves on fire and stop, drop, and roll themselves out. Like, geez, can we just have some
All right,
questions?
let's wheel on a giant nose, and you have to stick your finger in the nostrils and pull out the next question.
All right, Heather, the next question you're going to answer is going to be underwater after you've been held down there for more than 3 minutes. Good luck.
So Andy's like, "Yeah, Meredith, you're giving me all these crazy expressions," and he's like, "Are you mad at me?" She's like, "Mad at you? Not at all. I'm just, like I said before, benzoed out, just pretending I'm in Bermuda again. If you want to ask me questions about that, I'm all no questions about the benzo chapter. No, okay, fine." That's
Because
fine.
usually people give me dirty looks at the Jersey reunions, not SLC. And you know Jen Aiden just threw a meatball at the TV screen like, oh yeah, now do it again, bitch. Do it again.
What's so wrong with the girl? Just want to give a guy a look, baby.
Yeah. You want a piece of me, Andy? I'm here. I'm here whenever you're ready.
You want a pizza me or you want a pizza bagel, baby?
A pizza oven. Bling, 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 bling.
They all just got sidetracked.
You stole that idea from me, bitch.
Okay, you know what I want to put in a pizza oven? Some Snickers creamer. Okay, try that out for size. All right, everyone, you guys aren't even at this reunion. We need to focus here, guys.
You know what needs to be cooked a little bit less? Louis' terrible reputation. All right, that's been in the oven a little bit too long. Right.
Oh, not according to Bodino.
You,
Bodino
John.
loves my reputation, okay? I'm a realtor.
Okay, so here we go. We are just going to start with this reunion. This is going to be bonkers today.
Yeah, we're
Oh, by the
clearly
way,
in the
I
mood.
just said there's one other announcement I have to make. It's going to be annoying today because I'm going to sound like I'm taking these really long, awkward pauses because my new goal is to stop. Listen, it's 2024. I'm making new goals for myself, okay? Here's one of them. Stop saying, so. Because I've had a couple of comments like, all you say is, so. And I listened back a little bit, and it's true.
Ronnie, I'm going to make you feel better, okay? First of all, I also say variations on so. And when I get excited, I say like a million times, which is really embarrassing, especially when we're trying to do our little video clips and I watch us doing our video clips. And I'm like, I don't like, and then like, how that loves like, and like. So, first of all, that's okay. We have to do a lot of talking. So if we need to say those words, we are allowed to have some place fillers. And furthermore, when I was in college, I took a class on linguistics, and I asked about the word like and using the word like. And the linguistics professor said, you know, like is a space filler, and we're allowed to use it, and people shouldn't make fun of when people say like and like, or things like so, because our brains need those moments to catch up. And if we don't catch up, then we're just going to be disasters. I may be paraphrasing him, but my point is don't feel bad because you have to put in a place filler to catch up with your brain to what you want to say next.
I don't feel bad. It's just that now I've noticed it and I just want to shut myself up. Okay, it's a goal.
Oh.
Let me have my goal. Listen, without self-hatred, I wouldn't run. That's how I run. That's my fuel. I need to be disappointed in myself at all times or I won't do anything. If I'm just proud of myself, I'll just be in bed. Okay?
I do believe there are AI filters now that can filter out things like and so because I shit you not, apparently Doritos, I think it's Doritos, came out with an AI filter that edits out the sound of munching on chips. So the idea is like, eat chips while you podcast because this filter will edit the sound out.
Oh,
Do I
Lord.
trust it? No. But we're moving that way in society.
Doritos has added a filter that just removes PK's hands from constantly coming into the bag while they're trying to shoot an ad. Okay? It finally
Because
Good
like,
ad.
don't erase my expression. Chips on my expression. Now you're erasing me. It's erasure. Which, by the
Bye-bye.
way, ladies and gentlemen, erasure.
Welcome back from a game of kick the housewife off the wagon to, wow, this is a really long monologue I'm giving. It was a fun season. So we see a montage of the drag queen competition and Lisa breaking down because she had to wear drag queen makeup, saying, my makeup artist is on retainer, okay? I have glam in Monaco. I have glam in Saint-Tropez. I have glam wherever I go. Hold on, open a window. A Lisa breakdown. You know, in a year of amazing quotes from Bravo, how did that one escape us? That just goes to show you how
Yeah.
great this show is. Because that, I mean, I have glam in Monaco. I have glam in Saint-Tropez.
I have to say, going back to the Crappy's ballots, like for as much as we got in there, there's stuff that we just keep on forgetting. You know that? I mean, it's hard. Bravo gives us
There's
so
a
many
lot.
wonderful. It's a lot.
There's a lot.
So we see it's a montage of like that. It's a montage of all the games, the table games, etc. And then as the montage is editing, they have Monica in the little box watching it, and she goes, "Wow, it's better than like 55 and acting the way you guys do." I'm like,
Oh,
what?
It's because
that what
Lisa, they're even talking over each other while the clips are playing, right? So there's all these things that are going on the screen, and Lisa goes, what are you, like 12? And she says, well, it's better than acting 55 like you guys do, old lady. And then we get a boom.
That makes more sense.
So then we come back, because of course that's a Monica response, right? Also, I know that everybody hates Monica on the stage right now, but they're not giving her terrible advice. I mean, Lisa says a few times in this, like, you're just so bad at arguing. You got to stop. Like, argue better. Just saying you're old and ugly isn't an argument. Like, I need more, Like, if you're going to be on stage with the big dogs, I'm going to need more. Like, add in poor, like Lisa does, Just add in some poor shaming or something.
I think, actually, if I had to give a note to Monica, which, oh, by the way, in case no one heard, Monica got fired. But Monica, I think what we see in this reunion is, like, we've seen the limits of Monica. Like, we see how she is a freshman housewife, because there was a way for her to come in here and save her job, and she didn't do it. Like
100%. And she
like,
left
that's where
the
she was
season finale
a
off
rookie.
by saying, "Oh my God, there is just so much you guys don't know. Girl, when I finally have my chance to get my story, you are gonna hear it all." Girl. And then we get here, and she doesn't. What is her story? It's worse. It's even worse. It's even worse than we thought. It gets worse every week.
Yeah, she could have saved her job. She could have repaired things, I believe. I think this was it was a hard uphill battle, but she could have done it, but she didn't do it. And that's where it's like, it's like when you see a rookie football player, they're like massive. A rookie football player is massively talented. They got to the NFL, but then they drop the ball in the big game because they don't have the experience yet. And that is important. So this was too much for her, I think. It got away from her.
It got away from her. She's got the sass, I think. She's got the attitude. She's got the charisma. She's got a fun personality. I think overall, I like her overall. I think
Great.
As a housewife, it was just a bad audition. And now this show is famous for bad auditions. Angie Harrington, notoriously terrible. Angie, not great. Like, not a great actress.
I love it. I love.
Well,
Greek
no,
Angie.
hold on. Now
I see.
But that's my point. She's been terrible, but she's like warmed everybody over and gotten to us, like gotten to our hearts. But Monica's just not really. Monica has this huge chance here. Now, I do see that she's gotten to a lot of hearts because I do read the internet. And so I do see that she's got a ton of people furious that she's gone. I say I was rooting for you, and this was your big audition, and like, you couldn't even rehearse better comebacks than you got. You still have
Right.
your old and ugly. That's what you've got. Come on, I need more. I believe in you.
I mean, I think that Monica is going to go down as the greatest single season housewife of all time. This is not going to be the end of Monica. We're going to see her. She will most certainly be on The Traitors next season. I think they could even find a way to bring her back to the show. She maybe needs to be on quote unquote pause.
Well, that's what it is. It's
yeah.
pause. And that's the other thing. Don't everybody get so excited. They're riling you up on purpose. They did not fire Monica. Andy said today she's on pause. So she's not fired. She will be brought back. Do you really think they're going to let Monica walk out the door? No.
They can't. I mean, look, I thought Monica was wonderful. I thought, like, she gave us amazing moments. Her and her mom. She was just great. She was everything you could want for. I was disappointed that she did not. She seemed so savvy all season long, and to me, she played this reunion incorrectly, and she fell into every single one of Lisa Barlow's traps, actually, because Lisa Barlow would often come at Monica at this reunion, and Monica would sort of meet Lisa Barlow where her energy was, and Monica needed to play the victim. Like, she needed to do the thing where she was a victim of Jen Shaw, and she got caught up in this mess. She didn't know what to do, and now feels like she has made genuine friendships for the first time in her damaged life. And here she has ruined them all because she got caught up in social media, and all she can do is hope that people can find it in their hearts. Yada yada, bullshit. And
exactly. And you know who's a master at that?
Heather Gay.
Oh my gosh. And to see these people come on here after we've been calling this the Community Theater Housewives since episode 1. Okay. This is my favorite community theater show on TV. I've always wanted there to be a show about community theater, and we finally got it. It's like people just trying to put on this housewife show. We've teased it about that ever since the start. But to see these people become real full-fledged pros, I mean, it does show you that like people like Monica just need a little practice and a little experience, because whoever thought that these people would become so good at this? I mean, the way that Heather turns this whole thing around into some victim monologue, and she's so victimized, and she's crying, and the lady Whitney's sitting on her lap, and the ladies are all. I mean, it is such a load of bullshit, and I'm so proud of her for pulling that off. I mean,
She pulled it off. Yeah, I mean, just like that's what you have to do. I mean, I feel like we've seen people claw their way out of bigger holes than what Monica was in. And Monica's in a big hole, but she just keeps on digging it. And that's, so that's why when Lisa Barlow says you got to be smarter when you argue, it is true. Now, that being said, Lisa Barlow could also be smarter when she argues too. So,
well, Lisa Barlow has the advantage. When you argue on these shows, you have to be smart or you have to be funny. And Lisa Barlow is so funny. She's not smart. Her arguments are terrible. She makes herself look like a complete moron every single time. Like Lisa Barlow, I don't think has ever won an argument on this show by being smart. She's just so funny that you're like, okay. I mean, the fact that she tries to make every single sentence about herself, even when it's terrible, she's like, but what about me? I'm more Mormon than anybody. I'm the most Mormon. I'm the most smithiest of all Josephs on this stage. There. Yamaka said it.
So anyway, she's like, you gotta be smarter when you argue. And Monica's like, I can say what I want, girl. What? And Lisa's like, well, you're not really good at arguing. So then Whitney chimes in, wait, can we give credit to Meredith that she shook that butter the whole time? Ha. And Lisa's like, yeah, she actually made butter. Meredith made butter.
And Heather's like, yeah, she made it and she presented it to restaurants. And then we see a little clip of, I'm assuming it's Brooks, taking a phone video of his mom, being like, all right, Mom, tell the waiter I'm recording it. Now, waiter, I would like you to take this butter and present it because it is butter that I made.
Is it possible to serve this hand-churned butter that I personally churned? And is it further possible to put it on a spoon, but say the spoon is an airplane and it has to come into the hangar on my toddler Brooksy?
Whoa, did it melt, Meredith? Did it melt? She's like, the butter? No, it didn't melt. No, your face when they warmed up the butter. Sorry, people have been asking. People are crazy. All of you.
Wow, those are rude questions about Meredith's face. Butterface.
I just want to add a little side note here. As crazy as the set is behind me, the faces in front of me are even crazier. Okay, I'm Andy Cohen. Welcome to part 3 of the reunion.
Hey, who just threw this ball of butter at my face?
Wow, what are we playing horseshoes? Somebody just got another $5 necklace around Whitney's neck. That was amazing.
Hey, this is a question for Whitney. It's from the entire crew of this reunion. What'd you do with our shoelaces?
Monica, why did you take it so personally when Lisa kicked you off her Pioneer wagon? Okay, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Why did you take it personally when she said, the reason why I kicked this person off the wagon is because she's not nice to other women and she's one of the worst people I ever met in my life?
And she goes, did you expect me to keep you on it? And Monica says, I didn't expect you to keep me on it. It was your monologue of bullshit that I didn't like, girl.
What, that you don't support other women? Because you don't.
I was just asking another question. I was just answering the question I was asked.
All right. Hey, Lisa, when was the last time you did your own makeup? Hold on. Ha! Ha! Ha!
I think it was like 2019. And so she says that she has her makeup. I just said, and so. You see, I need a little shock.
You're allowed to say, and so. It's a transitional thing.
Guys, I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. I'm just saying,
by the way,
I'm noticing.
Who made Ronnie self-conscious about this? Who did this? Shame on you.
No, nobody did. I just, I need a little rubber band, like when you're quitting smoking. By the way, that doesn't work. When you have the rubber band and you keep hitting yourself, you just become addicted to the getting hit on the wrist, the slap of the rubber band. I missed that. I want to start
lots to
smoking again
unpack
just so I
there.
can rubber band my fists some more. Anyway, wrists some more. God damn it. I'm not going to say and I'm not going to say so. I'm just
Excuse
gonna
me,
go right into
waiter.
this.
Do you mind serving me this butter that I hand turned with the assistance of a rubber band? Thank you.
Could you please cut my friend off? He doesn't need to be served any more ams or so's or ums. Thank you.
So Lee
Okay,
says,
yeah, here's what I was gonna say. I get glam, okay? I get glam every day. Every day I have glam. Glam and go. That's what we call it, glam and go. She's just there once a day. Glam and go.
and I'll have it till I die. Then Mary, by the way, Mary's there. And Mary is like, Lisa, you do know that it's an insecurity, right? Lisa's like, no, it's not an insecurity. It's what I like, which is for no one to see my actual face in its natural state ever for the rest of my life. It's not an insecurity.
Mary, you special order Chanel toilet seats. Like, could we please not have lectures on insecurity from you?
Mary, your house is furnished by the actual Lorax. So can we not talk about insecurities?
But also, she can't see. Here's something people don't know about Lisa Barlow. She cannot see like a Greek person can see, girl.
Lisa, how many togas am I holding up in front of you? So Lisa's like, she's like, oh yeah, by the way, I can't see. I actually can't see anymore. That's a new thing for me. Yeah, I can't see. So Mary's like, it's not normal. Like, what does that have to do with a makeup artist? And Angie's like, no, she needs a makeup artist because she can't see. She puts the mascara on her lips and the lipstick on her forehead. It is a terrible situation for her.
I mean, half the time I go out looking like Heather goes out looking on purpose. Hey, we're supposed to be friends in this reunion. Sorry, Heather. So, Monica, how long have you been practicing your Lisa Barlow impression? You've nailed it since day one. What a good one. Do it for us. Do it for us. She's been practicing it since season one, Andy. Since season one. She's a fan, Andy. Monica's like, shut up, old yeller. Okay? You are seriously so obsessed with thinking that I'm obsessed with you? Your voice is so easy to do. Oh, my God. It's like over here. Monica.
It's like literally like a low voice, and then you just draw your A's out, girl.
And Lisa's like, well, I like my voice too. So Andy's like, speaking of impressions, Meredith, you showed off your Whitney impression. Can you give me a little bit of it? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. You said you wanted some of my hand-churned butter? Okay, well, first let me hand it to you, then you hand it back to me. But when you hand it back to me, it's like you're serving me. What was the question around here?
Do an impression of Whitney. It's like, all right, here's my impression of Whitney. Hi, I'm Whitney, and I talk like that. Whitney's like, I do not talk like that. Yeah, that's me. I'm churning butter. Just imagine instead of holding butter, it's your husband's limp wiener after going on a blood pressure medication. Hey.
That was too close to home. And then Mary chimes in. She's like, I'm going to do it too. I'm going to do it. Hey, it's so easy. Meredith.
I'm Whitney.
Ah, I'm Whitney.
I want to do it too. I'm Whitney.
The Bravo guy's like, hi, just wanted to say it's coming up this Tuesday. I'm Whitney on Bravo. Hey,
I'm Whitney, baby. I'm Whitney.
All right, Jennifer Aiden doing her Whitney.
But Angie actually can do a good Whitney. Oh no, she can't do a good Meredith.
She could Meredith.
She does a good one. She does the woo-moos and the nastiness. I'm quick. Well, Neck from Waddle says, Heather, Mary criticizing your necklace at Après Ski was classless, but her body-shaming comments on Watch What Happens Live about Gucci not making size 14 were disgusting. I am appalled.
Have you two spoken since that? And Heather's like, we have spoken, and she said she didn't mean it that way. And Mary's like, yeah, I was not body shaming at all. I mean, that didn't even come to my mind. I mean, usually most things don't come to my mind, to be honest. And I have no reason to do that. I think she looks really good, especially today. I mean, look at that. See, size 14 can work out. And I guess she shamed me because she looks great.
You're such a fucking liar. Yes, you were body shaming her. And why is everybody kissing Mary's ass all the time? Why? I think at this point, everybody thinks Mary's mentally ill, and they're just like, it's like that.
I think
Kelly,
that is it.
It's that Kelly Ben-Simone thing in Scary Island where they just all agreed she's obviously off her rocker, and by going at her, we're going after somebody who's got an issue, because they really do treat her. I mean, even their tones of voice. Heather's like, she didn't mean it that way. Did you, Mary? No. What? Body shaming?
Yeah.
What? No, never. I would just call her fat and inbred. That's not body shaming. Come on.
I think they all recognize the value that Mary brings to the show these days. And they also realize that, like, it's kind of punching down to, like, come for Mary a little bit. So they just sort of let Mary be, and they get it. And they just realize that's just Mary being Mary.
Yeah, I guess so. So, Mary, you give a lot of comedic relief. What's your future with the group? Do you want to be part of the group? Well, I'm just going to be me. And if people are going to be willing to open up and accept me, I would. But if it's still pushing out, if there's still a push out, I mean, Whitney still acts like, I mean, she's terrified of me, which, I mean, she's always got something to say. So there's that. And she's like, well, I was scared in the beginning of disappointing you. So the fear you're feeling, it isn't of you. It's a feeling of what you will do to me if I ever upset you. Okay.
Also known as fear of
Fear.
Mary. You're
It's
afraid
also
of her.
known as I'm not afraid of sharks. I'm just afraid of going in the water and getting eaten by a shark.
I'm afraid of what sharks will do to me after I disappoint them. Yeah. So she's like, Mary's like, but why? She's because of whatever comes out of your mouth after. Well, I think what comes out of her mouth is Mary, right? So Mary's like, what do you mean? She's like, I mean, if you knew me, I mean, Meredith, are you afraid of me? And Meredith is like, no. And Mary and I, maybe not on camera, but we have had words specifically around the topic of butter. And you know what? We navigated it, and it's done in 2 seconds flat, just sort of like as much time as it requires to soften the butter in the microwave, and it's fine. And so maybe I can give you guys some lessons on how to navigate Mary.
Hopefully, they'll teach you to navigate Mary better than my driver navigated a Range Rover into a snowbank. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm re-traumatized.
So Andy says, okay, I'm bored. Bye, Mary. You've done enough nothing here today. You can go. And she goes, Andy, that was so good. Bye.
So they all go off on break because they're about to hit Bermuda, and so they're all on break. It's just Monica and Andy sitting on the set alone, like it's just this big empty set. So Andy's like, well, this season the ladies had their first
This was crazy. Don't you think that's crazy that Monica just stayed there to sit next to Andy? It's like she was expecting some kind of conversation. I think she's disappointed that she didn't get her one-on-one because, you know, whenever there's a giant scandal on Bravo, they try and do the, and then Andy sits down one-on-one with reality Monty. So she just kind of sits there waiting to be asked something, and he does the slump in the chair and looks on his phone thing. He's like, you hear the like growls, like the, oh. A new bear has agreed to top you. Ding!
Grinder. So, well, this season the ladies had their first international vacation, so we issue a formal apology to Southwest Airlines because we had to close out our loyalty program with them. But mysterious messages and mafia allegations quickly turned this girls' trip into a whodunit, or in this case, who DM'd it? Ha! And the most shocking mystery of all, and still is, who is the real Monica?
So we see all those clips and Heather's big monologue at the end. I have your entire formula, receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots. Can we start over again? Whitney, I'm in the middle of the line.
But
Sorry,
did you
it was
notice?
just really stressful. That was a lot to remember at one time, even watching it.
It's just too many items for Whitney's memory, her short-term memory.
She can't even watch somebody else trying to remember it.
I'm sorry I interrupted you, but what I meant to say was, I don't know if you noticed that, like, we've seen the clip of Heather saying receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots. We've seen it so many times. So it was funny to me that this time when Bravo showed it, did you notice they re-edited it? They inserted Lisa into it. So it goes, receipts, proof, timeline. What? Screenshots. Did you see that? What?
Doc, this is the remix that you guys are going to get on this one. What? So she yells at her and the black eye thing, blah, blah, blah. So, dong, we come back. And Whitney's like, wow, that was a good dong. Good job. Who's playing the dong? Monica, we've not heard your side of the story. You've been accused of being a troll account that has come after everyone in this room. Are you, or are you not, Reality Von Tease?
She's like,
Girl, I am part of the page, yes, but I did not set up the account, and I did not name the account or open the account.
which is funny because later on she's like,
The reason why we started this account and named it this way is because of this one. So here's what we decided when we decided to open up the account.
And this goes back to the start of this recap. You've got to be better. I mean, you're
Consistency.
It's not being a liar. No one's surprised that you're a liar. I mean, you're on a reality show, but you're a bad liar. You're just so bad at it. Like, you need to think about your plans. You need to plan your plans. You plan your lies, girl. You can't just come on here badly lying. She's terrible. So she says,
and also don't be like,
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and also like, it feels like sometimes Monica is just like, open book. She just is super honest about things, but then she lies about other things that it's like, why'd you lie about that thing? You didn't have to lie about that thing. Just be honest about all this shit because it'll work out.
Because
but like,
it's compulsive. It's very Jax from Vanderpump Rules, where he's just lying about shit that you know it's a lie. And it's easily provable that it's a lie. Why are you lying about it? And then he just forgets what he says. And then 2 minutes later, he contradicts himself. And when they call him out on it, he's like, no, I didn't.
So
That's
anyway,
what we're dealing with. Andy says, so you didn't do that. Were you posting things under that handle? And she says,
Yes, well, not all of them, but yes.
how long?
I started in 2021.
So that the show was on the air and you were working for Jen.
No.
Okay, so you had already given evidence against Jen at that time.
I don't know that I had given evidence yet.
You don't know? You don't remember whether or not you were interviewed about Jen? I mean,
and then he's
at
like,
that
okay,
time.
well, you'd given your statement. You're really making me tease out the part that I'm not even interested in yet. She's like, yes. She's like, okay, well, what was the original point of Reality Von Tease? Like, was it to get back at Jen? And she's like,
It was to expose Jen. It was to expose the hurt of how she was treating her employees, and that's what it was, girl.
and Andy's like, so then he started including things about the other housewives of Salt Lake City.
Yeah, well, I don't feel like the page was made for like talking shit on these ladies. Like, I honestly feel like that page like did not come for like any of them, girl.
Well, and there's where you already know it's another lie because I feel like it didn't. And I feel like it didn't do that. Well, it's not about feelings. It's literally about facts of what the thing was, lady. Come on.
Yeah.
So then he he says, Heather, do you guys have documentation about things that were posted on this account? And she says, that physically hurt me? Yes, absolutely. They're still up, Andy. So then we see a bunch of the stuff we've seen before, which are, now this is where Heather, this just goes to show a pro, because Heather takes a bunch of bullshit and then spins it into something it's not, when she's already got good stuff. She's already got the stuff. She explains a little bit in this YouTube interview. I want to play people in a second, and you, because we haven't played it for you either. But she spins it into this bullshit. You know, even seeing screenshots of this text or this post on the TV screen, we can see that she's clearly reposting something that Jen wrote her in DMs about Heather, right?
Jen calls Heather the
Heather
T
is-
word.
Yes, she calls her the T sword.
Right.
And there's like trigger warnings all over it. And Heather is saying, yeah, I mean, she's up there she's up there calling me this, she's up there calling me that. And Monica says, what are you talking about? Jen's the one who said that. And she goes, yeah, but they're up there right now. You posted it multiple times. She goes, I didn't post that one. But see, Monica's getting trapped in the little things. I didn't post that. You may not have pressed post, but that's your account. You've seen them post it multiple times.
Yeah, you're like, don't like, just say like, we did post that. You say, look, honestly, we posted that because we wanted to show what a shitty friend Jen was. I didn't really consider that just by having that up, it was just perpetuating hurt for you. Like that's really all she had to say. Like, honestly, like I didn't even realize that. And you know what? If I could have taken it back, I thought I was exposing how you were being treated poorly, but I didn't realize I was just perpetuating it. But instead she was like, I didn't post that. No, not me. So it's like,
yeah, I didn't post that one. You can't prove that I posted that particular post when you're right. All she needed to say was, my point was that Jen was horrible.
And she does say it. I mean, she does say like,
Girl, we were sticking up for you in your defense, girl.
but then Heather's like, but you know what? Like, I can pull up 10 other examples of every time you posted it. So Andy's like, okay, well, show me how this works. She goes, what works? The internet, Andy. Hey, whoa, off limits.
Explain the posting and the tagging. I can't tell what's been generated by this page and what's been reposted.
And Lisa says, what's the difference? Well, I mean, there's a huge difference, I think, between someone actually coming up with the stuff to bully you and then someone reposting and claiming, calling someone else out for bullying you. I think that there's a difference.
Unless they repost stuff that is going to continue. I don't know. Either way. So
it's not great, but there is a difference.
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
So then they're gonna go to Reality Von Tease, and
Andy acting like he's never been there or checked it out at all. He's like,
wait a minute, how do I look at this Reality Von Tease 2? Was that the one?
girl, come on, you haven't gone to Reality Von Tease? I know you've got a lot going on over there, but come on.
Heather's like, yeah, because the first one got shut down for cyberbullying, and Monica goes,
That's not why I got pulled down.
well. No, what did it get pulled down for then? Like, what? Why else does it get pulled down? Like honestly, the reasons why a page gets pulled down from Instagram actually could get so much worse. So to be like, no, we didn't get pulled down for bullying someone. We got pulled down because we were racist. I mean, like, what do you want?
Yeah,
just take
well, and
it.
she
just
never
say.
answers. She never answers. She goes, okay, then why? Because of the cease and desist from Jen and Sharif's attorney.
No, we didn't care about that because we knew we had facts.
No, it's not facts. And she says,
Well, she called you all those names. I did not call her, I did not call Heather that. We need to make that very clear. Brrr.
and she goes, yeah, but it's posted and it's on Instagram. And she goes, yeah, but we're posting Jen saying it. We weren't actually saying it. And Heather says, well, thank you for being the courier of horrible lies and shit about me and putting it out there and tagging every single Bravo account in the universe.
And Monica goes,
You're welcome.
so Heather goes, and she's like, yeah, you're putting it out there. She goes,
Well, it wasn't a lie, girl. It was Jen calling you an awful name, and we were trying to expose how abusive she was to you. Do you understand that?
and Heather's like, you are not a hero in this, Monica. And she's like,
Well, I'm fine being the villain in my story, Heather, because you're the clown in mine. Ugh.
Yeah, but you infiltrated the clown college to get to be a part of this circus. So that this doesn't really work.
that's a good point.
Now, here's something interesting, because this was a point where I just didn't understand what Heather was saying. I'm like, well, I think they're coming too hard for Monica for posting stuff that Jen did, and so far they haven't really shown us that much evidence of what Monica did. So Variety was pretty classy, actually. If I do say so myself, did an article this week about Salt Lake City.
Ooh, I wanna
and
see it.
they also did a video interview, I guess, that the article's based off of, where they're talking to the producers and they're talking to Heather and Andy, and they're interviewing them like this is one of the greatest all-time cinematic scenes in our century, and they're all talking about it with such gravitas. It's like, and then that's when I realized we had a scene here, and I took this to the ladies, and as I got ready for makeup, I really went over what I was going to say and tried to plan how best would it land. I mean, it really is. If you guys haven't seen it, go to YouTube
I have
and
to
just
see it.
Google Variety, Andy Cohen and Heather Gay breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
RHOSLC finale.
Yeah, this is written by Meredith Werner and Kate Arthur. And Kate Arthur does amazing reporting. on Bravo for Variety. So I highly recommend reading any one of her articles anytime they come out because they're just always great. I love
So
them.
this isn't the article. I mean, this isn't. Oh, the article's great. Go read that. But this is the YouTube video of it, of all these interviews where they're all acting like they're on the actor's studio. So I'm going to just play a minute. This is starting at 15:24, and this is of Heather kind of explaining what pissed them off about the account, even though it wasn't specifically bullying them.
Hurtful things that Reality Von Tease said about me and said about all of us, but they were really just base insults, like calling me the Tease slur, calling me Shrek, calling me Manatee, making fun of my house, making fun of my outfits, making fun of my appearance, making fun of my friendships. It would track my every move. If I unfollowed someone, she would announce it on her pet page. She would announce if my followers were going up. She just kept constant, relentless track of every aspect of our lives. And it wasn't just the level of hurt from the insults, it was the relentless, obsessive pursuit to stay on our radar and then to meet us and pretend that she's meeting us for the first time, that she doesn't know my kids' names, she doesn't know their age, she doesn't know what car I drive, she doesn't know where I live. Those were all lies. It was the deception. She'd been amongst us for that entire time and never revealed that she knew everything about us. It was really the constant deception and the relentless obsession.
I mean, she makes a strong case.
That's creepy as fuck. That is creepy
Yeah.
as fuck. It's not just that she's reposting stuff that Jen's saying. It's that she's posting it day after day after
every
day
single
after
detail.
day, posting to everybody, making sure everybody picks it up, making sure it's run all over the place, as many places as she can, you know? And it's
Yeah,
the
and-
obsession. It's creepy, okay?
It is,
Any
and
way
actually,
you slice
like-
it, you can still like Monica and say that's some creepy shit behavior right there.
Yeah, and like somewhere in this segment here, we'll probably get up to it, but sort of jumping the gun here, Heather pulls up her DMs, and like if someone tags you in a story and the story expires, you no longer see it in your messages, but you still see someone tagged you in a story. And Heather just has like a long list of Reality Von Tease tagged you, tagged you, tagged you, tagged you, tagged you. So to be constantly tagged by the same account, and that account is like, yeah, like, oh, Heather dropped this person, Heather did this, Heather did that, Like, I can see how that would be like, oh my God, shut up. I'm surprised Heather didn't block Reality Von Tease. And by the way, good thing she didn't, because she was able to pull up the receipts of just how many times she was tagged by this account.
Crazy. So, okay, so back to this. Let's see. So, so she gets her burnout,
You're the clowns in my story.
So Andy says, okay, I found something. So we see the on-screen post it says repost of a reposted Insta story. And it's a Heather Gay tweet. And it says, DMX rapper who blended menace with sincerity has died at 50 years old, Rolling Stone. And then we see it's Heather's profile, and there's a poll that Reality Tease puts over it. And it says, vote, she would never, and let me see it. And then it says, I just got my hands on a good video of her saying some racist ass shit. And then this is a DM they're showing, and it says, y'all's grandma is still pretending she can get Black D, still looking for a brother to actually say yes to this, which I guess is Jen DMing Monica all this. I mean, it's just
Yeah. Either way, it's like just stuff like coming up. And so Monica's like,
Well, I didn't say that.
and Lisa's like, yes, you did. And Monica's like,
That doesn't mean I wrote it.
and Lisa's like, but you posted it. And Monica is like,
This doesn't even sound like me. This sounds like Jen.
so Whitney's like,
by the way, she's reading the actual tweet that was being commented on by Rolling Stone and saying, well, that doesn't sound like, because she starts reading it. DMX rapper who blended, that doesn't even sound like me. Well, we know. You're not being accused of being Rolling Stone. Okay.
Hey, I'm more hurt by the text messages exchanged between her and Tanisha.
and Monica, no one listens to basically Whitney. And Monica's like, yeah, that's not, I'm sorry.
This sounds like Jen. This is like Jen.
And Heather goes, but you reposted that over and over and over and over again. Horrible. And he's like, Reality Von Tease? And Monica's like,
Girl, if this were if that was like our stories, it'd be like in our highlights. So
so I guess is Monica
we
saying this
don't
wasn't
know
even
how.
a story?
Well, we're supposed to stories don't automatically go to highlights, do they? You have to pick
No.
your highlights.
I don't know.
This argument's a little silly. So she says if they were in our stories, they would be in our highlights. And Heather, because she's asked to see the proof. Monica's asked to see the phone. And she's like, if this was in there, they would have been in our highlights. And Heather's like, no, because you didn't save all your highlights. And you also cleaned this up for the past year and a half. So there's stuff missing. And he says, does anybody have DMs from Reality Von Tease? And Lisa's like, we would just tag there every day to a level you can't even expel.
And so Monica's like, Monica says, by the way, that like, oh yeah, we tagged them all the time because we wanted you guys to see. We wanted you guys to see this, which is its own kind of thirstiness too, by the way. And so Andy's like, all right, well, I will say this. Reality Von Tease, I'm looking at Heather's phone. This is like hundreds and hundreds of tags. Wow. And Heather's like, yeah, for 3 years. And Monica goes,
It wasn't 3 years. It was just during 2021.
it's like, even if it's just 1 year, that's not good. That's even more concentrated a period of time for all these tags.
So Lisa goes, well, we can see when they get started. We can see it here. And Monica says, do you want me to tell you the exact date? And Heather says, it was March 2nd. And why give her let's not even give her a platform, Andy. This is just so ridiculous. She's a bully and a troll. And so Monica is reaching behind the couch to get a prop. And she goes,
Oh, you're saying I don't deserve a platform? That is gross.
it's gross, Monica. You're going to make it like all bullies deserve a platform, too.
I know.
And if you say something against bullies, you're, a horrible, horrible person. Come on.
So she
Bullies
pulls
deserve
out,
a chance, too.
so she pulls out her burn book, which we saw in all the previews, and everyone's like, Andy. Heather's like, oh, Andy, God. And Lisa's like, oh, God, I went through this for 3 years. You think I want to see a burn book? You know what I want to see? A makeup artist glam till I die. And so Monica's like,
Yeah, it's a burn book.
so they're all just like groaning because I think people are just over burn books on Bravo right now. I think it's sort of like it peaked with Monique's folder on Potomac. And then after that, like there's no need to go back there because Monique did it so well. We don't need another one. We never need another one.
It's also it's been so done. Also, it's the same week that Mean Girls comes out and you've got the Mean Girls prop. And it's just like, is this a weird Bravo
also,
tie-in? Like, are they purposely doing this tie-in? Because that's just too much of a weird coincidence. Also, Mean Girls is like over. And if you're going to do a burn book the same weekend the musical of Mean Girls comes out, you need to give me like a bad, shitty musical version of this burn book. Like, I need to hear like,
Music that you'll never remember.
She's a skanky hoe. She's a stupid slut.
Like, I need something. I need more from you, is what I'm saying.
But also, like, pulling out like a burn book or a binder is great if you're having a shady fight. But this is actually like a real fight where these women are like genuinely rattled by this entire thing, and you're gonna pull out like this prop that's like funny, and like no one wants to hear it. No one wants prop comedy right now. So she pulls this out, and they all don't want to do this. And Andy's like, so this burn book, is this like the worst of what you did? And furthermore, did Linda help you make this? Did she help? Linda's on the side being like, Monica, turn to page 4. I put a surprise in there. Go look at it, Monica. Come on, Monica. This is your job. You're an actress right now, Monica.
Well, look, a lot has been said about Monica. Monica as a mother, just because there's been video released of her screaming at her mother with the kids there, and it's just so toxic, and that she does that in front of the kids. A lot of people have had stuff to say about that. There's been stuff said about Monica, just like, is she a good housewife or is she terrible? A lot is said about I want to just stop and just compliment Monica because the crafting here is good. It's good craft work. I love crafts.
It is.
I think it looks
well
just like the burn book. And I also want to say to the people who are saying that Monica's probably not a good mother, she's a good enough mother to have craft night with her children. Because I could just imagine all 4 of those kids sitting around making this. Because it's well done. And listen, I say if you're going to take a bunch of bitches down, do it with your whole family. So
it's so funny. I was totally thinking that too. I was like, I bet she did this with her daughters. So Andy's like, okay, let's see what's in here. Okay, hey, that's me. What am I doing in here? That's strange. It was just like Andy. There's like a picture of Andy being like,
It
Hey.
says he's got like a devil and an angel on his shoulders, and it says he fucked the other half of New York or something.
Right.
Making jokes about Meredith's or Lisa's quote from last season or whenever it was, 2 seasons ago. So then Heather is going, "Oh my God, that is terrible. I mean, it says he fucked the other half of New York, Andy. How could you?" And trying to make it this big thing, even though it's supposed to be humorous. And Monica says,
It's a burn book. It's supposed to be funny, Heather. Grr, you don't have to take it so serious, girl.
But this girl is the nastiest skank bitch I've ever met. Don't trust her. She's a fugly slut. How could you? How could you write that stuff about somebody?" And the picture is of Monica. It's like, come on, it's a direct lift from Mean Girls. Don't add being humorless on top of all this. Come on.
Yeah. She's like,
I'm doing it to myself, girl. God, relax.
so then we see a picture of like Lisa Barlow in high school. There's that picture of Lisa Barlow in high school that makes its rounds every now and then. And then she wrote down Lisa Barf Flow, and it says,
Lisa Lee is a materialistic little biatch.
and Lisa's like, oh my God, that's like the worst photo.
That's all Lisa can think about is that they're putting her yearbook photo out there. How
Yeah.
could you?
Can we put
Glam
Glam
every
on that
day.
photo?
Glam every day.
So Andy's looking at this and he's like, in his mind, he's like, so this is just jokes. He's like, what's the purpose of this? Because he's like, it starts off as jokes, but then it's like, back here, it's like receipts. Like, what are we supposed to do with this right now?
And she says, yeah, it started as a joke, but no, wait, guys, because there's more. It's like, no, this has already failed. Part of it because they don't have a sense of humor, but the other part because they don't owe you a sense of humor at this moment. And for you to come in here expecting a sense of humor from them is cuckoo. It's,
But also,
read
and it also isn't revealed. There's nothing new in it. There's
and
nothing
it's
that
just
it's
a bad prop. I mean, a bad prop, girl.
It's not exposing anything. It's not like, aha, here's the real truth. It didn't make any sense. There's no reason. I don't understand why she needed it because her account already is her burn book. So it just was. It was definitely a fail.
Yeah.
So
I felt bad
Andy's-
for her. I was rooting for this. Listen, we've been seeing this burn book for weeks now. We've been very excited to see this burn book and to find out that it was just good gluing, good glitter work, good cutting and pasting. Bad burn book flop.
Yeah.
That's sad.
So Andy's like, okay, so you were trying to expose Jen Shah. Tell me how it's helpful blasting out into the world all these things about them that are horrible. And Heather's like, yeah, what if we retweeted everything your mom said about you every single day? And I thought Monica was going to lose her shit, but she goes, well,
Honestly, my mom already did that, so no biggie.
so now Lisa starts getting all mad. What are you talking about? And Monica's like,
I literally just said, I see how that hurts you, but like, I'm telling you that, like, you know what? They're like not even listening to me right now, Andy girl.
Because it's hard to listen to you because you just keep spewing bullshit. I mean, Heather says, how would you feel if we tweeted all your mom stuff? She goes, well, my mom already did that. Yeah, so you should understand how they feel. Do you see the point? Like, do you see where it's all
Right.
supposed to be connecting in your brain here? And so she's like, well, they're not listening to me, which she's got a point. They're not. They do keep talking over you, but you just have such an endless flow of bullshit, and you also keep talking over everybody else. So you all lose points on that one, I say.
yeah, she goes, and Monica basically says, we were trying to get out how awful Jen Shah was, and I'm sorry that ended up hurting you. But I think the point is also, it wasn't like they took some strays. Like the account, like went out of its way to highlight different things about them and spread gossip, etc. It wasn't just like collateral damage.
So here's where people keep saying online, she never even apologized. But she does right here. She says, we were just trying to get out how mean Jen is. And if I hurt you, I'm sorry, but that wasn't the intent. So it wasn't the best apology, but she...
It was
there.
approaching. I thought okay, here it comes. She's finally, she was all mad, but now she's simmering down, and now we're going to get the tears and I got caught up in it. But nope, it doesn't happen. And Andy says, I got to tell you something. Okay, this is the part of the reunion where I say you're full of shit, but I do it with a smile on my face so you don't see it coming. Okay, I got to tell you something. I'm kind of amazed that you're so surprised that they're pissed off by this. Wow, you really are something else. And she goes,
Yeah, I really am, because they were like such big fans of the page.
and Lisa's like, what? Who was the big fan of the page?
You all were, girl.
And Heather goes, "Who? You called me a fuck-face skank bitch when I unfollowed you." And Monica does, she reads one from Angie. She says, "Here's a DM I got from Angie.
I mean, she calls me out. She doesn't have shit. I was going to give her a ruthless response, but my husband talked me out of it. And then when it was exposed on that page, it was the best fucking day of my life."
And Angie just goes, "Yeah, and so what?"
Angie has the best defense because you can't say anything to that. Because we saw earlier, like a few days ago, a few episodes ago, that Angie had written like back to Reality Bontees so many things like ha ha ha, funny, you go girl, hashtag hilarious, smiley emojis, laughy emojis. I mean, Angie was the biggest fan of this one, and Angie's fully caught, and I just love that Angie goes, "So what?" Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, if somebody
okay.
is torturing your enemy online, she's going to love it. So I don't blame her for loving it. I think that's actually really fun. I think she would have really been caught if she had been caught giving information or something to Reality Bontees, But just being
Yeah.
a fan, listen, everyone has their fans.
Yeah, that's being a fan is separate from like condoning, mass deception in a group.
So then, damn it, Monica. So Monica reads that. So Angie says, "Did you post?" Andy says, "Did you post positive things about the women too?" And we see positive posts now, where it's like,
Oh my God, we love to see all the ladies be so happy together. Oh my God, we love seeing the ladies do charity. I mean, Andy, we really tried to do nice things about them and support them as well.
and Lisa just laughs, and Monica gets really upset that she's being laughed at because this all sounded very reasonable in her head, but it sounds fucking
Right.
cuckoo just to say it out loud. Like,
Yeah, we were really good to them too, Andy.
Heather's like, "Yeah, it was 1 out of 10,000. You're not a hero." Yeah, based on the things that she wrote, she did not like any of us. So, like, why do you want to be our friend? Like, why do you want to be here with us? Based on everything you wrote, you fucking hated us. And Andy's like, do you want to be their friends or do you want to be on the show? And she's like,
I think that like both can be true.
and Andy's like,
Bad
"So you
answer.
want to be your friend? Be their friend?"
Okay, just a hint. I know it's too late now, but you're supposed to be acting like you're not just a fame-hungry fan who slipped past everybody through the metal detector. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be acting like, "No, I genuinely wanted some fellowship with other women and to support me in a rough time. And I wanted to be friends with them even more because I had stalked them. And I realized, oh my God, I actually really like these people." There. I just saved your job. Doodle-doo-doo, go back in time. Doodle-doo-doo.
That's all she had. Yup. So Monica's like,
I genuinely feel bad.
and Heather's like, "I don't think you do, but that's fine." And she goes, "Well,
Well, what is wrong with me? Why did I sit on this couch? You don't think I belong here?
see, so she gets like all angry again. She's more upset about like her right to be on the couch and be on TV, and people questioning that than like people questioning like how much she genuinely likes
Because she
them.
has to turn when she's losing, which she knows she is, because she thinks she's making all these points and they're literally laughing in her face. And so she's backed into a corner. And so now she's going to victim stuff. Every time she gets backed into a corner, she turns into this huge victim. Like, how dare you? What's wrong with me wanting to sit on this couch? Someone like me. You don't think I belong here? What's wrong with me? You're not the one being fucking bullied, lady. You don't get to just like have a big
Yeah.
cry fest over this right now, okay?
The response should be, "I know it doesn't, I know it's hard to believe, but I do. No, it's true. I do genuinely care about you. Did I want to be on the show? Yes. But ultimately, like what I'm realizing now is that like as much as I love being on the show, you guys really were great friends to me. And I feel
Right.
terrible about all this because I got myself in a hole. It's like one of those movies and I didn't know how to get out of it. And now here I am and no one will ever believe me. But I know in my heart how much I really
Yes,
adore you guys.
That's it. Or take a page from rom-coms from the 80s where it's like you're dared to date the dork and then the dork falls for it. But then you really fall for the dork. But then the dork finds out that you were just doing it as a bet the whole time. It's like Pretty in Pink or whatever.
Listen,
and then you have to be like, "No, but I really loved you." You have to give that speech. That's the speech that's required of you right now. I did come in here because I thought it was funny and I was being your stalker or whatever. And my goal was not to be friends with you. It was just to get fame. But I learned being here that it's more than about just fame. This is true friendship. This is true fellowship. You guys taught me what real friends are. Now I don't have to be a crazy fucking stalker. And then music would play. You're doing it all at the Hollywood Bowl. boom, you just got 5 more seasons.
Yeah.
You're a national hero. But unfortunately,
Like, did you ever watch Tootsie? Look, Dustin Hoffman literally infiltrated Jessica Lange's life. She shared with Dustin Hoffman deep personal secrets when he was dressed vaguely like very clearly still Dustin Hoffman but in a wig, and she fell for it, and that was such an abuse of trust. And she still was like, I'm gonna go back to you. Like, spoiler.
Monica,
spoiler
do it
alert.
like Tootsie. You know
Do
what
it
I
like
mean?
Tootsie.
Jesus Christ. Do
You
it
should have-
like
and
Tootsie.
But the difference is that Tootsie, you know what? Tootsie came clean on live TV in front of Dabney Coleman, and Monica.
You need that moment. You need that.
Monica
big,
was outed. It was different.
Yeah. You need
she
that.
needed to.
Well, that's true.
But she needed to take Tootsie's lead.
Yeah. Okay. God, what a classic film.
Great
All
movie.
right. Okay, so I just did an okay so, but I really don't know where. I guess I do that when I don't know where I am. So let's find out where I am in my.
Well, Andy will say, so she's like, what's wrong with me wanting to be on this couch? And Andy's like, yeah, it's not a crime. I mean, her plotting to get on the show is not a crime. It's literally how we cast Real Housewives of New Jersey. And Lisa's like, yeah, no, that's not a crime. But like, you're going against all of us is a crime. And like, if you were so noble in your actions, like, why didn't you tell us in the beginning? Why not say like, oh, I had your backs and I'm here for you guys? And then he's like, yeah, wait, hey, by the way, Lisa Barlow, good thing you got that glam on your face. You're working, you're coming up with some good points. Why didn't you tell them? Why not?
And Lisa's like, you didn't lead with that. You got busted. And now you have to backtrack. And that's what we're doing right now. Is you're backtracking.
I did not get busted. I knew from the start this would come out.
Okay. So Andy says, well, if you knew, then why wouldn't you lead with that? I mean, you clearly led with the story about banging your brother-in-law because you knew that was going to come out. So why wouldn't you do the same here? And she says,
Because when we meet the pages, we said to the grave. We're going to take it to the grave. Because I wasn't just thinking about me, Andy. There were other people involved.
Literally
I thought you just
makes
said you
no
told
sense.
casting. So where was that loyalty to all these people?
Also, like, what part of saying we're going to take this to the grave means, well, I know this is going to come out? It's like, no, we take it to the grave means you don't think it's going to come out. Also,
She
don't you remember?
but like in 1 minute, she's like, well, I told casting, so they knew. And then she's like, I would never tell anybody because we're taking it to the grave. I'm like, well, who are you?
And also
who am I
10
supposed
minutes-
to believe you are right now?
Also, 10 minutes ago, you said, I was part of the page, but I didn't start the account. I didn't even name it. And now she's talking like they're in some sort of like secret circle, like
We
they're
took a
in like a
photo.
coven. Like, what is this? Is this what's it called? What's that movie? I mean, it's just like, it's like the Witches of Eastwick or something. Like, like they throw some roots and seeds and blood of a goat into a pot, and they're like, and now Reality Von Teese is born. And then she's like, no, I wasn't part of the origin of this site.
Well, some of those videos got leaked. So how did the videos get leaked? How did they get leaked, Monica? Because I know how you got those videos. I know how you got videos. The same way I knew that I was going to meet, the same way you knew I was going to meet Snoop Dogg with my friends. And we see a clip of that fight early at the crepe party. And this is another reason that Monica just wins everybody's heart, because she actually goes to a housewives party and loads up an entire plate of food and just will fight while she's eating this huge crepe, which,
Yes.
I mean, I respect it and I love it.
Also-
So she's fighting with a giant plate of crepes in her hand.
And I also love that Lisa is gonna like elevate the Snoop Dogg thing again. Like, actually, this Snoop Dogg fight was the culmination of Monica's ultimate treachery. It's like, that's how you know that's Snoop Dogg, because you were snooping yourself. It's like, I don't think like people really care too much about how the Snoop Dogg thing was exposed.
But it is good. And it's cool that it became such a big plot. And you're right that Snoop is actually in the headline of this is great. But it is interesting because thinking back, we didn't think anything weird. We figured Jen probably said something. And that's what Monica says. She says, Jen told me about that conversation. And she said, no, I never said it to you. I never said it to you. And Monica says, you don't remember? You don't remember the conversation? And Lisa says, you're making it up, that this never happened. We never talked about, because they're showing the clip where Monica is saying, we've had this conversation before. And Lisa's saying, I never said that to you. Where'd you get that information? Well, we find out why she has that information now.
Yeah. And Lisa says, because she logged into their security system and was watching them for months. And Monica's,
It was my security systems, and no, I was not watching them for months. I was watching and listening, bitch.
so Lisa
That is
like,
crazy. This is crazy. So her saying that it's hers. Oh, this is so fucking crazy. And then she's backed into a corner because Lisa is like a dog with a bone on this. She's not going to let this go. And then so Monica just goes,
And you can choke on a dick.
like,
and then Lisa goes, you logged into Jen and Sharif's security system. And Monica's like,
It was mine.
I mean, like,
in her
okay, so
house.
maybe technically it was under your name, but like, where is like that is such a violation, even for someone like Jen Shaw. Like, that is such a violation.
It's diabolical. And Andy goes, so wait, so you set up the security system? And she says, yes, she asked me to put it in my name. Yes. Oh, really? That's funny because didn't she during the season say that Jen had asked her to put stuff in her name, but Monica was way too smart to do that, so she never did it?
Probably.
Why do I feel like I've heard
Sandy's
that?
like,
So you had the ability to watch Jen in her home and hear what she was saying. She's like, yeah, if I wanted to, yeah.
so Andy's like, so that's how you found out about the Snoop Dogg thing. So wow, you FBI must have loved having you as an informant. I mean, like, literally, this is what Monica comes away with. It's like,
Nothing on Jen Shaw, but Lisa Barlow's flying with Snoop Dogg, so.
FBI's like, thanks.
So he says, this is how you found out about Snoop Dogg. She screams, no. And Lisa says, okay, so that's how you got the video of Jen and Koa. And she says,
No, I recorded that on my phone.
I was snooping in a different
That was a
way.
much simpler invasion of privacy.
so she had it recorded in two places. She had the phone recording and she had the security cam stuff. And then Lisa says, no, we have it on here. So I guess they have access to this footage or something, which is crazy as well. And so Monica's saying, she's yelling,
You're more mad at me for recording Jen throne than you are at Jen.
no. You're mad at me for recording Jen throwing shit at human beings than you are at Jen for doing it. Do you hear yourself?
Which-
no, that's not the point. It's
Yeah.
not about Jen. Jen sucks. Everybody agrees that Jen sucks. It's about the fact that you're a fucking stalker. You found this woman who was on a TV show that you wanted to be with. You ingratiated yourself. You put cameras in her home. You stalked her. You followed her. You made
cameras-
up names. You became somebody else. And then you turned on her to get evidence to take her down, to take her place on a show that you ended up doing. I mean, it worked. I mean, look, congratulations. It actually fucking worked. You get credit for that from me. I mean, it's sick. It's crazy and it fucking worked. I mean, you're going to make history for this shit. But to be acting like no one cares that Jen was a monster, that's not really the point. Sorry.
Yeah, but Jen's in jail. So, like, she, like, to say, like, oh, wow, Jen was a monster, it feels kind of redundant and useless at this point because she's already in jail. Like, what are we supposed to do there? Like, we're not talking about that. The point is that, like, you had, like Monica had, like, a gross violation of decency here, which, by the way, play it correctly, that's a great feather in your cap for being a Real Housewife. But she doesn't play it correctly, so we're all just it's just sort of like, wow, you if you are a castmate with this person, you are definitely not going to feel comfortable around that. But again, if she had just done the whole, I got caught up, I was scared of her, I felt like I had to take these actions for my own safety because I needed to have I needed to document this to make sure I was safe. She could have done all of that. Like, she had so many, like, easy ways out of this situation, but instead she's saying things like, you know what, go suck a dick.
Yeah.
not
She's
gonna
just
work.
not equipped, Sometimes you need to
You know
be
who would have
smart or
done it?
funny. Exactly.
You know who could have
it's
done
back
it?
to the beginning. You need to be smart or funny. And when you use neither of those skills, you're just gonna fail.
Linda could have done it. Linda would have known what to do.
Oh God, now Linda's on fucking Twitter standing up for Monica, being like, Monica's better than this. She should be in films. I've always told her, Monica, you should do films.
Of course, well,
What?
Linda's
going on
delighted
over
that her
there?
daughter got fired. Now she's like, this is the best thing that Linda ever heard. So
Gosh. Okay, so Andy says, Lisa, so they're all talking once. They're all yelling at each other. Jen's not the issue. She's the issue. La, 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 la. And Andy just looks like he's going to start crying. I mean, he's just slumps down into his chair and he's trying to get them all to shut up. And so he finally asks Lisa, he's like, what about you accusing Monica of stalking Jen and driving by her house a lot? Monica, did you do that? And Lisa goes, you were stalking. You were stalking. And she says,
I did not stalk. I mean, driving by your house 2 or 3 times is not stalking.
Lisa's like, parking outside and saying you're going to be friends with the neighbors, that's stalking. And Heather's like, yeah, you sold the footage to TMZ. And Lisa says, you're a mother with like 4 kids and single. Like, why are you driving by Jen Shah's house? Sack, 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 sack. And Monica's like,
Never
You're
hit that
sick.
shit, okay? You're sick. You are. You're
sack,
sick.
So,
sack, sack.
yeah,
sack.
Monica. Now, Lisa's one who just repeats shit over and over, right? But that makes me crazy in these fights and reunions when you have no argument and you just repeat the same thing over and over in a yelling tone. But Monica does it too. But she doesn't even come up with her own thing to yell. She just repeats the last thing that you just said. She just, you are fights you.
Which she learned from Jen Shah.
Yes, Jen Shah did that too. So, Lisa, yeah, you have 4 kids. So then Monica says, she goes, oh, you have 4 kids and you have them in the back seat of your car while you're doing drive-bys? That's nuts. Did she have her kids in the car while she was
I don't
doing
know,
that?
but saying that's got to be a real trigger for Monica, considering that her childhood trauma was being in the backseat while her mom made out with the guy in a parking lot.
I
So
know. I
Monica's-
was shocked that Monica didn't say,
I didn't have him in the back seat. I had him in the trunk.
I had them in the way back, girl.
So Monica's like, don't fucking talk about my kids. I don't even talk about yours. Keep my fucking kids out of here. You know, like the classic deflection of like, you've got me cornered, so I'm going to do the whole thing. Don't talk about my kids stuff. So then
Yes.
Andy's like, okay, how do you define stalking? Is it sort of like becoming friends with Sarah Jessica Parker in the Hamptons, or is it something more insidious? And Monica's
Well, I
like,
think it's when you're repeatedly doing things. I mean, you're not a stalker on your first bunny boil. You have to boil 6 bunnies before it's really a thing, girl.
Otherwise, you're just like an innovative chef.
so Monica's like,
I never did anything to her house. I like never put anything out. Like I didn't even step a foot anywhere near it. Okay, driving by someone's house is like not stalking. It's just like you're a tourist.
and Lisa's
okay,
like,
by the way, I started falling for this because I'm so dumb like this. If you just repeat something emphatically to me, I will believe you. I'm a good audience member that way. I come on here and act like, oh my God, here's my opinion. I've had this opinion for years. No, I change my opinion every 5 minutes because I believe the loudest in the room. So I'm believing her. I'm like, okay, it's not really stalking. She got carried away with it. Whatever. And then she goes,
And people do it to their ex-boyfriends all the time. Shut up.
I was like, okay, well, that's just
not a
admitting
great
to more
difference.
stalking.
that's actually, that's not great.
It's a scary comparison. And Lisa says, well, maybe when you're 12, but not when you're 40. And she goes,
Shut up, Lisa. No one was stalking Jen and no one was stalking you.
so then Andy says, do you have proof she was stalking Jen? And they go, yeah. So Heather hands over her phone. And then is where I'm like, why do I believe anything that comes out of fucking Monica's mouth? Because then it just gets even worse.
So we see now like several videos of Monica driving by Jen's house and like, you know, like she's with like her friend and she's like,
Stick out. Hey, we got binoculars, bitch. Oh my God, I'm gonna be like in like disguise, driving by Jen's house, girl.
and they just keep on driving by.
The fact that she's showing up in a disguise with binoculars. I mean, come on. Like, just when I'm like, come on, it wasn't that bad, guys.
Can I
She
say
drove
something
by a couple of
controversial?
times.
Can I
We
say
got
something
to run a
controversial?
mustache with.
I'm gonna say something controversial. I actually did not feel like this was stalking. I know this sounds crazy. To me, this felt like, I think she was obsessive. I think she got into this like whole Jen Shah thing. I fucking hate Jen Shah. And so she would drive by. I thought she was being like, I think for them, it was just like a funny thrill to look at Jen Shah. And then they put it on like Reality Bonti. It's like, oh my God, blah, 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 can you believe this? To me, I think stalking is, if Jen Shah said this woman's stalking me, I would not be like, oh, get over it. They're just joking. Like, I think if you're on the receiving end of it, for sure. But I feel like they were probably just being jokey. Like in my mind, stalking is like you park your car and you're there for like hours and hours and hours, and then you were like harassing. But I think driving by and be like, oh my God, look at that bitch, and then like going on is just like, you know.
Oh, I think it's 100% stalking. It's not the typical like Lifetime stalking where it's like a creepy guy with a knife in his pocket ready to stab you. It's kind of stalking, and it is a group, which also makes it different because it's a bunch of them. You know, it's her with a guy. Well, we see her with the guy who has the witness protection voice on him, and they don't show his face.
It was probably what's his face,
So,
Jen Shaw's lackey, Stuart.
oh, Stuart. Oh my gosh. So, but then, so even if you're thinking, okay, this isn't really stalking them, maybe they're just having fun. They're like kids having fun together.
Right.
Okay,
That's sort of
then,
how
okay.
it read to me.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, okay. So then, how many videos of her driving by the house do you have? 20? You've got probably 20.
20
That's
is a lot.
fucking stalking. I mean, come
20
on.
20 is a lot. It's just like it's a lot.
It's crazy. It's literally crazy.
I guess
So-
maybe in LA where you just see people driving by houses a lot and taking photos. I guess I'm maybe just
Well, right, you have
desensitized.
TMZ literally following people and taking photos, and they're stalking too, but they're doing it's like kind of
It's like
allowed,
state
I guess.
sanctioned. It's like not. It's like allowed.
Sanctioned,
Like
yeah.
remember our friend Angie who lived in the Freddy Krueger house. Our friend Angie
Yes.
used to live in this house that Nightmare on Elm Street was filmed at. And all day long, people would drive by and take photos, and tourists would come by and they would slow down, and she would hear them speaking. And I think it was just like a big, like, I think she got used to it. But at first, I think she was like, oh my God, people stop coming by my house.
Yeah, it is fucking weird. And you're right. I mean, in LA, it's people are following other people all the time to get a picture or whatever. But this is, I don't know.
Like I said, if I were Jen Shaw and I saw the same car pulling up like every like once a month or whatever, or these people, I would be pissed, and I would be like, I'm gonna call the police. You get out of here. You know, I just think that.
Well,
like,
I'm not even going to give Jen Shaw like the. I'm not even going to give her that luxury of
sympathy
giving
edit?
a shit what she would have thought about it. But to me, it's just creepy. The whole thing is
Well,
it gets creepier every time
but
they get
again,
deeper.
But again, like Monica, all she had to do is saying, "Yeah, I got way like it started out as like a let's expose Jen Shaw, but I think I got obsessive about it. I
Right.
got sucked in, and I got too deep, and I was embarrassed about it, which is why I didn't want to bring it up because it's honestly one of the most shameful chapters of my life."
But you know, again, drops.
Or you could
Well,
say, "Go suck a dick." You could say,
Yeah.
"Go suck a dick."
yeah. So Monica is screaming,
This is about Jen. Do you not understand?
no, it's about you being a stalker. Do you not understand? They're coming at you with evidence, and you're saying that your whole thing is social justice, but it's not just social justice. It was to get on this fucking show. Why? I mean, I guess you can't really admit that.
Here
you know
comes
what I mean?
here comes now Monica's grandest shitty lie now unfurls before us, because Andy's like, "Well, why were you driving by our house?" And she goes,
This is when we were in the witness situation.
and Andy's like, "So the FBI, did they tell you to drive by our house?" She goes,
Yeah. And she, by the way, she owed us like a lot of money too.
and he's like,
Oh, really? Wait a minute. Why would she owe you money if she never paid you? I thought that was one of your big things. You didn't really work for her because she never paid you. So if she didn't pay you, then why would she owe you money? Wow, Monica,
I love
are you
it.
lying again? That's crazy.
I love a
That's
dual purpose
crazy.
stakeout. Like, I love the idea that she's like, I'm both getting information for the FBI, but also hoping to collect my money at the same time.
Someone sent us a DM saying the information I had about Murillo, that Murillo said in that interview with Bravo and Blaze that the reason they met, Monica met Jen because her husband answered a handyman ad or something and brought her along to Jen's house. And this DM said, no, that's not the truth. He did go to her house to fix some stuff, but that was after Monica already knew him or whatever. But some more of the information that he gave us was she never got paid. All she got was a Louis Vuitton bag, and then Jen paid for her car when her car. She owed like $2,500 on her car. It needed to be fixed or was towed or something like that. And so Jen paid for that. But I don't know if any of that's true. That's just from a random DM. So I don't know. I'm saying that right up front. Don't spread that around everybody, but I'm just saying it because it made me think about that Louis Vuitton purse. Because if part of the payment was a Louis Vuitton purse, was even that a lie when she came out in the beginning of the season and she's like, I'm with a Louis Vuitton and I bought a purse, and then starts crying? Or was she using the purse that Jen Shaw bought her as a prop? And even that was a lie. You know what I mean?
Was that the
Like, does it
purse
go
that Jen?
back?
Is that the purse that caused Jen Shaw to be banned by Louis Vuitton?
She only paid it. It was the last purse she got to pay for with cash.
I think that the real headline here is that bad things happen when it comes to cars and Monica. She's either using them to drive by people's houses unnecessarily, or she's getting into some sort of tangle with
Andy,
bad actors.
we caught her following Jen Shaw 20 times.
And it would have been 21 if Linda hadn't repossessed the car right out of Jen's driveway.
That's probably why Linda did repossess. She's like, "Are you using this to stalk again, Monica? Are you doing that, Monica?
I told you, no more stalking, Monica.
Monica, I watched a movie about a woman in Croatia who was driving by another woman's house, and it made me realize I need to take back the Range Rover."
That movie about a woman in Croatia on Netflix, I can't. That will forever make me laugh.
So Andy is like, okay, so the FBI, okay, so he's like, it's like the FBI, you were doing these drive-bys for the FBI, and Whitney, of all people, Whitney, the most gullible person on this cast, goes, "That's hard for me to believe that the FBI would recommend her driving by. And I'm saying that as me, Whitney, the person who was convinced that this dress would look good on TV. Or not even on TV."
Whitney, she right.
Columbus. No, it's Columbo. Oh.
Whitney is kind of talking over the answer here, but Monica says we were trying to something like we were trying to catch her drinking and driving. And Andy says catching her drinking and driving, and she nods and smiles like, "Yeah, how devious is that? We were going to totally get her." So Angie goes, "So they sent you after her, not the police?"
Well, she was being watched by like a dozen people, and she was also being watched for over a decade as well, so it wasn't just us.
And he says, "So, but wait, they sent you to do it?"
Well, no, they didn't. No, I didn't say that. They said any evidence I have.
Okay, so there you are lying twice. You can't
was the
remember your
worst
lie. It was
lie.
less than a minute ago.
Monica was sent to find her drinking and driving, so she just randomly drive over there in the middle of the day because they were going to somehow find evidence of this. Like, it was such a, it was like so bad. And it was like, it felt like she was almost crafting this narrative out of some sort of murder mystery novel. You know those murder mystery novels where it's like the detective isn't even a detective. It's like someone who works at the grocery store, and on their spare time they like to look up mysteries.
Yeah.
Like it was so ridiculous.
Well, I can see what she's saying, right? She's saying, look, we were witnesses against her. We wanted to get bad stuff against her. So we were seeing if we could catch her drinking and driving, we could give that to the police, and then they could catch her cheating on her parole, and then they could take her in. Like, they were that obsessed with getting her, getting their revenge on Jen Shaw. But I think that she's making this mistake of calling herself a witness and saying, because the FBI is not going to come out and say whether she was or wasn't. We don't have any verification that Monica ever even was a witness or that she was working with them in any way. Monica could have called them and said, "I have evidence of a crime." And they said, "Well, if you come up with any more evidence, let us know." And she took that as, now I'm working for the FBI. I'm a huge witness in this case. She's not listed, as far as I know. I could be wrong. She's not listed as being a witness anywhere in the court case or on any of these dockets. So we don't know if any of this is even true. They probably just said, "Ma'am, if you have any evidence of a real crime, let us know." So her ass went over there with her friends to try and get evidence of a real crime. And she just
probably
keeps
that way
getting
she could
caught
have
making this a bigger story.
Probably so that way she could have a more prominent role in this trial. By the way, if this were like a movie, this would be like the best comedy. Oh my God. Like the delusion, like it's like Nicole Kidman in To Die For is like, I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna stalk this person so that way I can be like in the trial. Like, it is like, it's hilarious in a movie. And it's just wild that she is saying all this stuff. By the way, if you were trying to find evidence of Jen Shaw drinking and driving, the camera is only on you, Monica. You got to flip the camera around and show us Jen Shaw's
Well, that's the
house.
other thing. You can't be an investigative journalist while you're making a TikTok. You know what I mean? Like,
That's just not how it works. It's not how it works. Okay, listen, it's hard for us to see the evidence when you put on a filter that makes it look like cherries are falling out of the sky, okay?
she's like, "Oh my God, Jen's drinking and driving." "Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. We can't use that because they've got puppy ears and their tongue. Anytime they open their mouth to drink, a big tongue drops out of their mouth.
Oh, I was using the dog filter.
Hey, FBI, I have some like really important evidence of Jen Shaw drinking and driving.
And they're like, this video is just several shots of ships going through the North Sea at the moment.
Yeah, she's driving that ship. Look at it. It almost fell over. Drunk driver.
Is that a filter? A ship filter? Is there a big
No, that's
ship
like the
filter
thing on
going
TikTok.
around?
That's the thing on TikTok right now.
What is it?
North Sea TikTok, or at least on mine. But no, there was like a New York Times article about it, which is how you know it's like big enough that the New York Times pays attention to it. It's like footage of boats going through the North Sea in like terrible weather where the waves are enormous and the boats are going up and down and up and down. And every single video, there's a guy singing this. Yo ho, all hands. And the videos are like amazing at first, like holy shit. But then after you see like your like 100th video, it's all just the same footage, just scrambled in a different way. I highly recommend it.
God, TikTok, I love you. So not enough to use you because I'm terrified of you. I'm too old, but love you. Okay, so she's just been caught in another lie, and this one's the biggest one because this one's like the FBI is telling you to stalk this woman to get footage of her drunk driving. It makes no sense. The ladies are all just laughing openly at her now. They're literally pointing at her and leaning back in their chairs and just pointing and laughing at her, which sends her over, you know. She's like, okay,
Probably
You guys
childhood
are
trauma right
assholes
there.
right now. You guys are being assholes.
And they're like, sorry, but this is so funny. And she goes,
This is exactly why I did a burn book.
why?
To get back at those people laughing at you for your ridiculous lie about being hired by the FBI to find evidence about Jen Shaw drunk driving. I'm
said,
sorry,
"You guys
it's
are
just so
mean."
funny. It's like the time Zeus accidentally turned a shepherd into a goat. Ha 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 ha.
And
So
she goes,
Andy
but
is-
that's why there's a burn book, because you guys are mean fucking girls. Oh, am I supposed to feel for you? You're misplotting Mean Girls. The Mean Girls made the burn book, not the nice girl. Right? Come on. You're even bad at movies.
She's gonna start saying fetch now. She's like, I made fetch happen. So Andy's like, okay,
The girl
okay,
who
let's-
tried to make happen.
all right. I don't mean to pile on, but it's just so easy. So if Jen is in her house, she's not drinking, nor is she driving. Can you explain that? Whitney's like, were you a mole for the FBI then? What's going on? I thought you weren't a rodent. And Monica's like,
No, I was not an informant. I was a witness.
which somehow this makes this all make sense, I guess.
And yeah, it doesn't make sense because what were you a witness of? There was no. Were you a witness for the future trial that never happened? Or she makes no sense. And if you weren't an informant, then why were you having her follow somebody around? That's what informants do, not what witnesses do. I mean, have you even seen Donnie Brasco?
I know,
on, man.
Have you at least watched the movie Witness? So
That's
Andy
the
is
thing. It's like it's not even that she's doing all this stuff; is that she's so bad at it. We can't even respect her
Yeah.
as a villain because she just sucks. You know.
I think that like, because a lot of this is actually very, very funny because this is so ridiculous. It's hilarious. The only reason why I'm actually upset is because Monica has been so wonderful on this show, and it's like painful to watch her make these mistakes and not secure a second season. You know, like it's painful to me. I mean, yes, there's the whole thing about like she was doing these terrible things to these women and yada yada yada. That's bad too. But like as a viewer, as just like someone who enjoys the show and the campiness and the ridiculousness of the show, I'm just upset because Monica, you had so many chances to just fix this, and you just went in such the most wrong direction.
Okay, so Andy says, let me ask, with all the things the feds had on Jen Shaw, they asked you to go to her house to see if you could catch her. And she says,
I didn't say they asked me.
you did though. But you did a minute ago on camera. We can just rewind it and see. And she goes, they said we did that because they said anything that we see, we should bring to them. So Lisa and Angie are still laughing, and Monica is just like hurt, but also she really thinks she's a hero in her mind. Like she really thinks she brought down Jen Shaw. And other people buy this too. I'm reading all over the internet. She helped bring down a criminal. If you guys go read the documents and everything that Jen Shaw was in trouble for, this is not assistant level stuff. This was Stu level stuff. Stu helped bring her down, and he was also a criminal piece of shit. This
This
is
was
not some
this is a scheme
assistant
that
who came
spanned
in.
the country. Like there were people in New Jersey that were involved in this. This is like Monica's stakeout of Jen Shaw at Shaw Chalet was not like the
This
flaming
was
gun.
not a girl making TikToks of WAP in front of Jen's house who brought Jen down, okay? It's just not
Monica, listen, Monica just wanted some good content for reality Von Tease so it could go viral and it'd be a big deal. That's all it was. And now she's trying to act like it was for the FBI. Monica's caught in her own lie here. It's hilarious. So, and Andy's basically openly ridiculing her to her face.
They all are. They're all laughing at her, and she gets really hurt. And I even though I'm completely ridiculing her right now, and as an audience member was like, "What the fuck?" I did feel bad because you really see, no matter how wackadoo she is, you see that this really hurts her. Like in her mind,
Yeah.
she really had something here, and they're mocking her to her face. And
I felt bad
I felt
too.
for her a little.
I felt bad because I felt like I could see her as a child. I mean, she came from this like really tough childhood, and I feel like I could see her as a child being made fun of in school. And so like my heart did, I was like, you have made this disaster yourself and you were lying out of your ass and you are fully like, you are just flopping right now. But God, I feel bad for you because I see how this is taking you back to your childhood.
So Andy's trying to get her to explain it, but the other ladies are still openly mocking her. And he's like, well, just explain to me why you were driving by her house. And so she's explaining, and Meredith is talking over her going,
She wanted to dig and dig and dig and dig.
she's like twitching out over there. And Monica is saying, well, we were just seeing if she would drink and drive because then she would be violating her probation. And Angie says, well, what are you going to do? Put a Greek line and pull her Greek over?
Give her a breathalyzer. And Monica's like, no, you call the police when you see her driving drunk. And Heather's like, oh, a citizen's arrest from this one, honestly. And I'm like, why are you coming for me? Why are you defending a criminal? And Heather and everyone's like, and he's like, we're not. We're just trying to poke holes at your very flimsy story.
Gosh, she
So
really
Monica's
thinks
like,
she's deep throat here. It's so sad. So Monica's like,
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're standing up for a criminal.
no, again, no one's saying anything about Jen Shaw. It's about you being a crazy fucking stalker, okay? So she says, you guys are giving me so much shit. I've done nothing illegal. Going into someone's home security system and driving to their house every day and stalking, that is criminal, ma'am, okay? You
that is
weren't
exactly
charged
what
for
Heather
it.
says next. In fact, Heather literally goes, it's illegal to access someone's security system and watch them for months. So they just kind of breeze by that. That point is actually so, like the security system thing is to me the worst. And Andy was like, okay, let me ask you a question. If she was driving by her former employers who was up to no good in the hope of catching her or adding more evidence, why do you guys care? She wasn't driving by your houses. And Monica's like, she's like, yeah, I don't even have your addresses. And because Heather's like, yeah, she never got my address. And so Monica's saying, yeah, I never drove by you guys. And she's like, and if she never stalked you guys, why do you care if she drove by Jen's house? What do you care?
So Heather says, well, the capability for a human being to befriend someone as a fan, beg to work for them, and then infiltrate their lives, to become their assistant, to install cameras in their home, to watch the security footage, to take every opportunity to take that and post. I mean, good point. And she goes, sorry, but that raises a few alarm bells for me, okay? And it makes me maybe not want to be that person's friend. And Monica says,
Well, that sounds like I have amazing time management skills, by the way.
are you suggesting that you didn't do all that stuff? Because we know you did, and you've bragged about doing it. So what's...
So now they've set up, Heather is, in baseball, she goes up fourth. She's going to hit the home run because no one does a monologue. I think the two best monologuers in Housewives right now are Heather and Heather Dubrow. The Heathers have amazing monologues. Heather Dubrow is great for an episode closing monologue. She does them so well. And Heather Gay She just can do, she whips out a monologue whenever she needs one, and she does it. She's great. She goes, she did it to Jen, she will do it to me, and she in fact has. So to hire someone who contributed and and profited off that, and then lied about that, and then sat here with the burn book, she thinks she's being iconic. It is not iconic to be a bully. You said that you condemn cyberbullying unequivocally, and she has admitted to cyberbullying to us for 3 years, like it's some iconic or charming thing. It's not appropriate that we're joking about this. This has ruined my experience as a housewife. It has ruined every single one of our experiences as a housewife. And that, my friends, is the night the lights went out in Georgia.
You are.
And and this is like her closing statement to get Monica kicked off the show. Like it's her plea to Andy to be like, you said you stood against cyberbullying unequivocally, and that is what's happening now. I would like to bring Diana Sanella Jenkins to the stand.
Well,
you
then
want
Heather.
a piece of me? You need a new villain? Here I am.
Here I am. So then Heather, of course, Heather's really smart because she basically tells Andy, you know, the hardest part, and you've even said that, the hardest part, social media and trolls, because they're relentless. They come for our families and our businesses. And like, you know what, Andy, if you can eliminate that or create a gap or hold someone accountable, it would change the experience for all of us housewives. And you would get a higher caliber of women willing to expose their lives on television. Wow, that was a shrewd move. She basically is like, yeah, if it weren't for social media, you'd have better shows because we're so afraid of being torn apart by trolls like Monica that we hide stuff. So it's really like Monica is not only bane of our lives, she potentially could be the problem with all the Real Housewives in general, and that Bravo might go down in flames unless you fire her.
She's not only trying to get Monica fired, she's trying to get the greatest housewife of all time fired. Social media.
That's
I
right.
don't think that's going to work. That's a pretty big swing to be taking. But also, you need to be super careful because if they do come out with rules that they're going to really follow up on all these DMs and all of this stuff, you know, Heather was DMing or texting with Koa. Koa put out texts that he had with Heather where he was telling her about this video that he had of Jen abusing him. And she was saying, get it to me. I'll get it to Meredith and we can get this, you know, we'll figure out what to do. Meredith is super smart about it, but get receipts for every single thing. So she knew about a lot of this stuff. They knew about the cease and desist that Monica had been sent. They knew that Monica was an employee of Jen's. I mean, I don't know, you know, there's a lot of fishiness. It's not completely all on Monica. So just be careful before you want people investigating too far into the social media aspect because a lot of you guys are accused of using burner accounts and stuff like that to go for each other too. Don't ruin the entire industry while you're at it, is all I'm saying.
Listen, the housewives get into enough messes on social media publicly, okay? So, you know, one of my least favorite things on The Real Housewives is when we have a feud or storylines that are all about something that someone said on Twitter at one point. Like, look at what's happening on Potomac. Like, it's something that happens in an abstract space, off camera, often before the season. It's not interesting. So I think that, I think the first step is if you're concerned about trolls or whatever, don't feed them and keep your feuds off of Twitter and keep them on TV.
Monica says,
Higher caliber women, so someone like me doesn't belong here? That's what you're saying? That's what I'm saying that you're saying about me. That's all I'm...
Monica, you're making it sound like she's doing the victim thing. Like they're coming for me for my socioeconomic status or, you know, whatever it is, or because I'm a single mom. That's why they're being haters. No, they're being haters because you're a fucking stalker. They mean a higher caliber, meaning somebody who didn't infiltrate their group by being a fucking stalker and recording them secretly and sending those videos around to people.
I don't even think there's that. I also think it means like, you know what? Like if you're having issues, like there are a lot of people that probably would not go on The Real Housewives because they
don't want to look like idiots.
Like down market. They don't want to look like idiots. And Heather's basically saying you could probably get some really cool people on these shows with like really interesting and like really wealthy, you know, backgrounds that like would not normally come on. Either way, it doesn't matter. What matters is that Lisa, I was a little surprised at this because this is the thing that the audience is saying. Lisa says, you know what, Andy? You guys brought Monica on here knowing she wanted to take every single fucking one of us out, and nobody even gives a fuck about that. So Andy's like, whoa, hey, no one knew about this. And so Heather's like, did Bravo know? Which this was great because now the housewives are like, by the way, what the
Andy.
fuck?
Yeah, I love that they brought Bravo into it, and they all stuck together on it too, which was pretty good. It's very Big Little Lies, you know. It's like, oh my God, they're gonna push Andy down the stairs. I see it coming. So they say, does Bravo know? And he said no. And Heather goes, well, Monica's saying that production knew. And he says, well, who do you think at production knew, Monica? And she says, the first time I interviewed, I talked about it in my home with production. I talked about it. So I talked about it in my home interview. And he says, so you told them in casting? Yeah, I told them the first time. But you also just said that you were going to keep that secret to your grave. So I'm not really sure who to believe.
Yeah.
And he said, well, we wouldn't have cast you if you had said you run a burner account. And he's visibly
This is bad.
shaken here. And I think people on the internet are saying this is when Monica officially lost her job, because she's already been coming at the bosses the whole time, being like, you know, I came because your show was shitty and there were no ratings. And like, who does this? Who tries to save their job this way, you know?
But also, like, I mean, that's one thing because Bravo knows, like, they're like, whatever. But when you do this, when you put it out there, if you put something like this out there and you make the rest of the cast members feel unsafe with Bravo, they're not gonna stand for that whatsoever.
Yeah, but they're acting so innocent. But of course, Monica said something along the lines of, well, we know that she told him she worked for Jen Shaw because that was in her first episode. Her whole backstory was, I'm Monica, I'm a mother of 4, I'm divorced, I fucked my brother-in-law, and guess what? I worked for Jen Shaw and I was the informant for the FBI. So she came out as like a rat, basically. That was like her big claim to fame, was that she was one of the rats for Jen Shaw, and like really talking that up to be a bigger thing than probably it was, let's be honest. So I wouldn't be surprised if she was like, I've been trying to get justice against Jen Shaw for years. As employees, we were abused. And she probably went into a lot of that stuff. I think that Bravo's not as innocent as they act either. Let's never forget
either way,
the producers
Monica
are always lying to us. Always.
Monica should not be coming for Bravo because the truth is that Bravo gave her a tremendous edit this season. They could have made her look like a full-on disaster. They gave her a great edit. We all continue to love Monica. I mean, despite everything, I love Monica. I think she is like amazing. But like she got a great edit. They put her central in the show. It was, you know, so I think like she definitely should not have come for Bravo on this one.
Well,
for her
let's
own
move on to
bullshit.
the Greek Mafia rumor. Because it seems very coincidental that the two of you have a conversation. You and Meredith have a conversation at lunch. Then you go to Meredith's store, and not for the first time. And then you have a conversation about a rumor relating to Angie. And then a week later, you get a DM about Angie being in the Greek Mafia. This is a big one that they've obviously got her on, right? Who else would be sending these DMs? If it's not Meredith, which this show had us completely believing that it was Meredith, by the way. I fell for that. If it wasn't Meredith, no one else makes sense. It doesn't make sense that they would have these conversations and then suddenly get DMs with all the evidence. One of the two of them had to do it. So it's obviously Monica.
That's one of the reasons that like led to Monica being unmasked by Heather. So Meredith goes, well, I got a DM that was predominantly a variety of financial records. And I thought, why am I getting this DM from Challenge Butter? This is so awkward. I mean, I know I'm a butter influencer right now, but what a bizarre thing for them to be weighing in on. Anyway, these records all tied back to things that Monica had told me coming in from Palm Springs, things that I didn't even know about.
But Meredith, that was a two-way conversation.
Yeah, but you were the one dropping the bombs in that conversation, at least according to Meredith. But Monica thinks, okay, but we were both talking, which makes you complicit in all of it. It doesn't make her complicit in sending DMs if you were the one who sent the DMs. She's very good at twisting and turning things.
No, you told me you had evidence of everything you told me on the plane to Palm Springs, and that's what you said on the plane, and you were going through a litany of things. Sorry, hold on a second. Whitney, I said litany, not Whitney. Litany is like a list of things. I can see your eyes glazing over here. Let me just get up dictionary.com on your phone. Okay, you can just look at that definition while
Well, I was going to
continue.
say, my name doesn't start with a B.
All right. I said litany, not bitany. Anyway, it was a litany of things, and I asked a lot of questions, and one of them was, do you have evidence for all this? And I didn't have any of the information, Monica, and that, and I kept that information to myself.
So Andy says, did you have anything to do with the DM that got to Meredith about all these finances of Angie's? And Monica goes,
No, but I would admit that. I would admit that if that was me.
oh, wow, you're so honest. Wow, what an honest hypothetical person you are.
Yeah. And so Angie's like, I just need everyone. Okay, 1 second. Okay, everyone, Opa. I just need everyone to be Greek respectful for a minute because this is my business. It is my Acropolis. And it's really important for me to be able to do
All
this.
right, I'm
and to
bored
address.
already. Wrap it up, Angie. Wrap it
Well,
up. You're bored.
what I'm just trying to say is everyone is accusing me of being a schemer, being a fraud. I've been working for 30 years. I am self-made. This takes away from my credibility. It's reckless of my business. And it's, yeah.
I like when she goes. She goes, I've been working 30 years. I'm a made woman. I'm like, don't say that during a fucking mafia fight. I'm self-made. No, she says, I'm self-made. I just wrote, I'm a made
I am
woman.
taking a hit out on being poor. I am now wealthy because of what I have done.
My family is going to strike back at anybody who brings us these allegations again, Greek.
Forget about it. That's what I say about my poor years.
So Andy says, well, you say they were trying to ruin your life. Who? And she just looks over at Meredith and Monica. And Meredith goes,
Oh, not me. Forgive me for trying to bring fresh butter to the world.
It's just how I feel. Monica has been pretending to be my friend, but it turns out that friendship was thinner than a layer of phyllo dough. And Monica's like,
No, it's Meredith.
and Meredith's, I never put anything into the universe except delicious hand-churned butter. I'm sorry.
But we had a conversation, Meredith.
so Andy asks who brought it up the first time. And Meredith just points at Monica. And Monica goes, oh, well, I did. Okay, well, there you go. So you started a conversation that Meredith engaged with you in. So that means that Meredith is just as guilty for sending DMs full of information. Come on now. Come on. So
And it's
Andy
like-
says, well, look, can I just say something? You know, you can't bring something out in front of the cameras like the gay rumors and stuff like that and then say, I didn't say it because it is you saying it. It's you bringing it up on the camera. This is, come on.
No, I didn't start it. But I absolutely did repeat it.
Which is, by the way, a very Vicky Gunvalson kind of response. No, I didn't say. I didn't start the. I didn't say the rumor. I just repeated the rumor. Okay. So Andy is like, okay, I got it. I'm just trying to say that at some. I'm just trying to help you out here, okay? Because we all really want you to have a second season here at Bravo, and you're not doing yourself any favors, okay?
But also, I want to talk about, because you said I had a lien. I've not had a lien in 30 years. I am a businesswoman without a Greek lien. And during COVID, people still had to they needed help. And I stayed open. I kept my doors open. And I am a woman of business.
Were you grateful I brought it to you? Weren't you grateful? I brought it to you. Aren't you grateful that I brought it to you?
And Andy literally shuts Angie up. He goes, okay, nice. Very good. Nice work. Your monologue is over. Thank you. Back to Monica. Monica, something you wanted to squeal about? Go ahead. And Heather goes, wait, so
But Angie is still
this
like-
gets really ugly, right? Because Monica goes, are you grateful I brought it to you, like you said in Bermuda, or not? Are you guys grateful that I brought you information or not grateful? And Andy says, sounds like she wasn't. And she goes, yeah, they came after my marriage and everything. And Monica says, same. And Heather goes, no, it's not the same because you don't have the same things we have. So
But Angie's trying to defend her business about these Greek mafia, things, and Monica's interrupting her, and Angie's like, "Oh, be quiet, Monica. You don't own a business. You roll blankets where there's dog hair on them, and you sell them. She came after my businesses." And Monica's like, "No." And so then Heather's like, you don't have the same things that we have, and Monica's like,
Don't you dare discredit small shops.
God, so now she's
Don't
standing
Etsy
up for
shame.
every Etsy seller. And
"Don't Etsy shame."
That
just like,
guy
but you're-
hired me to stand up for the poor, innocent Etsy shop owners.
But you are discrediting mine. I have multiple small shops.
justice
Small-
for
small
swaddle
shop.
sellers,
I
So
love
Andy's,
a small business feud.
Yeah. So Chamber of Commerce feud coming up.
So Andy's
So
like,
Andy goes, did they come for your swaddle business, Angie? And she goes, yeah.
Yes. She's like, oh my God, you have a swaddle business? It's on camera.
I'm sorry, you are not a businesswoman. Do not come at me. You take and I give. That's the kind of person you are. Everyone was struggling during COVID. I opened. I'm surviving. And I'm thriving, which is more than you can fucking say. And he's like, okay, all right. Thank you. Congratulations.
Great job.
Yeah,
Well
the hair
done.
salon.
So then Monica says, we're sitting in the same room on the same couch. So, well, actually, you're at the end of the couch. So I guess we see how we're not the same. And she says,
Angie
and
does a
I'm also
classic.
surviving and thriving. And Angie yells at her and she's like, you are up here because you are a fucking bitch and nobody likes you. And that is why you are in the Greek hot seat.
All right. I am a loyal friend, and I'd rather sit here than sit there and be a fucking low brow rat out of the fucking sewer. So then Monica
Low
thinks,
and brown? Did you call me low and brown?
And she goes,
Brow.
no, low brow.
Low and brown?
And Andy goes, no, she's saying low brow.
Brown? She's calling me.
Oh my God, you're really going to
Monica's
try
like,
it? You're
you
really
gonna
going to go from the plight of the swaddle seller to straight up racism? Come on.
and Angie's like, low brow, stop trying to bring race into this. You're such scum.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna make fun of people's physical appearances? She says my brows are low? Oh my God.
Only because Beauty Lab fucked him up.
I was hashtag botched.
So Andy's like, okay, enough. And Lisa says, you did this to her. And it's like, okay, stop.
Yeah, now they're just all screaming over each other. And Monica's big defense for this one is, I'm not a horrible person.
Horrible people murder children. I'm not a horrible person.
Okay, well then
Okay, so
neither
you
is
can-
anybody. I mean, in that case,
That's a
why are
pretty
you after
intense-
Jen? Jen's not a horrible person. She didn't murder children. I mean, even you didn't accuse her of that.
That's a pretty intense standard to be horrible. Wow, I didn't realize you have to like, wow.
I
So
can't
Meredith
be
goes,
horrible because I have not murdered children. Thank you. The
If
defense
you-
rests, Your Honor.
If you cared about Angie, you would have pulled her aside off camera and said, Meredith's saying these awful things about you, which is shocking that she has time to do that when she's making such delicious butter for restaurants.
Okay, so Andy's like, please just stop. Okay, so then we fade to black, and on the morning of April 9th, 2022,
Yeah.
in a city, and we go downtown where the folks are broke.
Downtown, where the
life's a
punches
joke.
fly. Downtown, where you can get a burrito with fries in it. We go to San Diego.
Heather Gay woke up with a black eye. Crews were not shooting at the time of the incidents. Boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba dum, boom, ba dum, ba boom, ba boom. It's like the beginning of Big Business too. It's like dum 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 dum.
This disclaimer, are we watching like season 3 of Making a Murderer? I mean, this is a little intense. This is a little intense for what we're talking about now. I mean, it's like, please send your children to sleep because we're having a serious segment now. I'm like, let's relax, Bravo. We've been watching the show. Like we saw it last season. We can chill out.
Heather, you shocked the world when you claimed Jen gave you the black eye.
I know that the audience is dying for us to talk about this again. Okay, now this is a huge strategic error that Heather made here. What the fuck are you doing? Last season, everybody hated your ass by the end of it because you wouldn't stop with this black eye. You get a black eye. You guys were wasted. You were partying, doing whatever. You wake up with the black eye. Everyone figured Jen had it happened when you guys were throwing yourself up against windows and doing all that other stuff. We all figured it was something to do with that. But then you used it, you kind of hinted around at everybody and played games about it and wouldn't tell anybody who did it, insinuated that you knew but wouldn't get anybody else in trouble, blah, blah, blah. It got so old with the audience. Why would you bring this black eye up again? Why? Unless you have a really good story that Jen got furious with you and beat you, I cannot believe you're doing that. That's what I'm thinking when this starts. I'm like,
I
this better
disagree.
be
I did not
good.
think this was. I thought this was great. I thought this was a master stroke. I was like, yes, this is what you do. You fix your image. You fix the damage that this whole thing caused by like just putting it on Jen, like at long last. And now we are all hanging on the edge of our seats, waiting to hear the story. So Heather's
I
like,
just saw, unless this is good, this is a huge fuck up. So she goes into her. Well, honestly, it was a lot of drinking, and the next morning I woke up with a black eye. I knew I'd gotten it from Jen. I didn't know how, but I knew I'd gotten it from Jen. Wait, so you brought up the whole black eye thing again to say you don't remember still? This is the same fucking thing we knew last season. You got it that night, but you don't remember. You don't remember how. But she says that she knows she got it from Jen because Jen came to her room first thing in the morning when Heather texted her and said, "Am I the one who gave you that? I'm so sorry." But that's
Yeah.
not her confessing to giving it to you anyway. That's her saying, we were drunk and fucked up together. Did we roughhouse too hard? This is not good for me.
I was like, yes, I would have liked more information, but we all know that Jen gave it to her, and so
But she
the
doesn't.
story makes sense though. Like, it makes more sense to say, yeah, it was drunk. It was definitely Jen. I don't know how, but it was definitely Jen. We're like, okay, we'll accept that. Versus, I don't know how it happened. Maybe a parrot flew in and knocked over a can onto my eyeball. We're like, no. So Andy is like,
It's
"Well, what?"
unacceptable to me still because you're still not telling the story. You're still saying that you don't remember because you were blackout, but that you know it was Jen. I mean,
But
there's
it's
no more
acceptable to me.
unreliable a witness than that. Like, it was her. I know, even though she didn't confess to me, as I'm insinuating that she did, and I don't remember anything. Who's going
But
to
it's
call this
acceptable
witness
to
the
me.
stand?
Here's why it's also acceptable to me, because we're spending like 2 hours now talking about how Monica, all she had to do was say certain things in certain ways and she gets off the hook. And Heather is saying a certain thing in a certain way. And that's what she has to
But
do. And she
she's
didn't
not
do
off
it
the
last
hook.
year.
She's
maybe
not
not
off the
for
hook.
you.
Look what happens. Look what happens the rest of this episode. She absolutely blew her good reputation out of the water with this one. I think. I think. This
I don't
was a
think
huge
so. I think
strategic
this
mistake.
was. I think this was a, like, I would have liked more details for sure, but she did the thing that she needed to do, which
Well,
that
it's
she
what's
was
coming
she was
up,
humbled
so-
herself. Well, okay, but then you're a bit like,
I know.
okay.
It's me. It's me being crazy, not you. But I'm saying what's coming,
But
what's
like-
about to come, is where it's a huge strategic mistake that she fucked herself over. Okay.
Right, and I'm saying I don't think so. So Andy is like, well, what was your inclination to cover for her? And Heather's like, well, I don't know. I was scared of her. I think I was scared. It's like, well, why were you scared? And well, like, what scared you? Because she were you scared because she was in legal trouble? And Heather's like, I've been covering for her for 3 years, and I was not going to stop with the black eye. And I was in deep. I was too scared to say anything. I was terrified. I was still scared to say it at the reunion. I was still scared to say it at Bermuda. I went to Starbucks the other day, and I got scared there. And I'm just watching it happen again. I realized I was maybe contributing in some way. I was scared, Andy.
So he goes, well, we have footage of Heather's room. What?
Oh, no.
Oh, now you have
Oh,
footage
no.
of the room? Really?
I don't-
After all this time of, Bravo has no footage. What? The cameras
This-
were all, well, we have nothing.
This was amazing because this was like director's cut on a DVD. So we just see this sort of generic footage and we hear Heather narrating over it. So we see footage and we hear of Jen Shaw walking in to this room, and you can't hear any audio. It's all muffled. And then it's Heather being like, okay, here she is. She's walking in. Okay, now she's taking a seat on the sofa. She sat on an M&M by accident. Okay, now she's picking up the M&M. She's putting it in her pocket. Oh, she threw the M&M at my face. I think did you guys see that? She just threw the M&M at my face. It was a horrible morning. Okay, yeah.
So on the screen it says, at the time, Jen and Heather both said they were discussing a different topic. Heather now claims this footage shows them discussing the black eye. But there's no audio, like you said. So what she's really saying is, she says, thanks for letting me borrow this. I say, absolutely. She says, I did that to you. I can't believe I did that to you. I said, don't worry, I got you. She was upset. We were both upset.
This is
And
her
then
saying
I wiped
congratulations.
my eye and licked it because there was peanut and chocolate on it. And I'm not going to lie about it. It was delicious. It was fucking delicious.
Okay, now right there, that's when Jen is saying congratulations on being a New York Times bestseller for your book, Bad Mormon. That was really nice of her to throw that in there right now. That was nice. That was a nice moment for her.
Oh, right here she's saying Bad Mormon available through HarperCollins, read by author, which is really good. Audible. All you really need is a membership.
Now, Jen you see her head is in her hands, and she's saying, gosh, this one dented Range Rover keeps driving by my house. I wish that would go away. God, it was so funny that she mentioned that just then.
So now we see, so Andy says, well, Heather, Jen has continued to deny that she gave you the black eye. And then we see the screenshots of Jen threatening Bravo, basically. Well, I don't think they showed that part, but she did. She said, oh, Bravo, if you had the footage, If I punched her, you would have the footage to prove it. And if this is even brought up, they don't show this part, but she said something along the lines of, if this is even brought up at the reunion, you will be sued by Jen Shaw and blah, blah, blah. So then Heather goes on a monologue. This is where I think she fucked up. She does this whole monologue saying, let me just say, I want to start by saying sorry. Sorry to you guys, the network, you personally, the audience. I just didn't know how to navigate it. I knew it was becoming bigger than I could handle. I lived through it. Reality Von Teese, a lot of it was about the black eye, and it was trauma. And I didn't know how to say it other than I was scared, and I deflected with humor. And Andy's like, I don't know if that could be considered humor. She goes, well, I said spider eggs in my eye. And he goes, yeah. And then lawyers were coming at you. I had to assume you were freaking out. She goes, yeah, I was freaking out because all I had was that she had told me that she had done it. And I told her I would cover. She didn't tell you she'd done it from what you just said twice. She did not specifically said it. She said, did I do that to you? So then she goes through this whole thing and Andy brings up, okay, but you lied on your tour. You said at one stop, you got hit, you hit yourself on a cabinet. On another stop, you said that someone may have broken into your house and hit you, but production probably edited it out because of a non-disparagement clause, the production company and the rental company. Here's why she's an idiot for bringing it up. This right here. You're blaming production. And then she says, no, I was just joking. It was dark humor, but she shouldn't be bringing this up. She's basically saying, she basically went for a year saying someone probably broke into my room. So either production was completely terrible and didn't protect their cast, or someone from production broke in, or they were protecting whoever it was so they wouldn't get sued. That's where I think she made a huge mistake. She could have come out the hero of the season, but I feel now people online are like, well, Heather lied about the network and Heather did all this stuff, so she should be fired too if Monica's going to get fired for a troll account.
Yeah, but the difference is Heather, yeah, there are parallels here. You know, Heather saying it was just a joke, whatever. But Heather she has humbled herself and she takes a lashing from Andy. Like, that's the whole point. She sits here. She says it was Jen Shaw, after all. Her evidence is flimsy, but again, we all know it was Jen Shaw. Like, we all know. And she, you know, she sits there and then she lets Andy just like lay into her. And that's basically what happens. And she just says, I'm sorry. She does the smart thing, which is she just takes it on the chin, which is what she needed to do because the audience for a year was like, what the fuck was up with that story? And yes, she could have probably just left it in the past because it was sort of long forgotten. But at the same time, like, we all loved when she said it on the final episode, like, Jen Shaw gave me the black eye. So as long as she's going to bring it back up again, she has to take the lashing. And Andy basically goes in on her. And, you know, she just is like, yes, absolutely, yes.
I agree that she did the right thing as far as once it was out, she took the lashing or whatever. But to bring up that storyline is just completely crazy. I don't know. I just think it's just, I don't understand the sense in even bringing it up. You should have left that in the past. You had a whole season. You got the audience back on your side. You're ending this season being, you know, your monologue has gone viral, which I guess she didn't know at this point, but you ended as the hero of this season who got this, you know, stalker or whatever. Like, you captured the criminal. Why are you doing this to yourself? I just thought, oh my God.
Listen, I thought it was a masterstroke. She dropped that in there in the season finale in the midst of everything. And she's like, you know what? I'm putting this out there too. And cause like when that happened, when that season finale and everyone was like, and the black eye, oh my God, people lost their minds. I think that she was like, I'm gonna have to answer to this to Bravo, but it'll be worth it. And she does. She did it all. I think it was a bold move.
My question to you though is, how was it brilliant if she promised an ending that she never gave us? It still ended up with no climax. She still doesn't know. Nothing has changed.
I think I agree in that I wanted to get more concrete evidence. I think Bravo also didn't give us. Bravo thought they were going to give us a flaming gun by being like, here's some footage, which also showed nothing. I think the truth is that, like, she said, I believe it or not, I actually think she's still covering ever so slightly. I think that she knows there's still more to the story, but the only thing that really matters is that Jen Shaw did this to her. And they both know it. Jen Shaw knows it. Even when they show back the footage of them talking about the spider eggs in this different light without the music, you can see They know it. Jen Shaw can't let this out because she's in under like she's got her probation and all that bullshit.
Right.
We all know it.
I think.
We just
I
wanted
don't
Heather
doubt
to
at all.
admit it.
I don't doubt
you
at
know?
all that Jen did it. That's not. And I'm not suggesting you're saying that, but I just want to make it clear. I'm not doubting that Jen Shaw did it, but the way she's phrasing everything makes it sound like I'm going to tell on Jen because Jen did punch me that night, but she's not. She's still covering where she's. It sounds like to me what happened when we see all the footage of what happened that night. They were so fucking wasted, being on the bed, humping each other, wrestling, doing all this stuff. She probably got knocked in the eye from fucking around. And Jen did it, but it doesn't sound like Jen got mad at her and beat her. But the way that she's phrasing this now is that Jen probably got mad at her and beat her and like punched her in the face, right? That's what she's making it sound like. But when she doesn't say that Jen did that, she just says Jen doesn't do it, but is very careful to say she doesn't remember how. It's just, I don't know. It just leaves, it's still not giving us answers. And now, I don't know. I just think she's opened a can of worms here.
I think that like for me, like Heather is more like, I don't know if she's necessarily saying that there was, I just don't, at this point, like we've been doing this for like over 2 hours and we have so many notes and like, it's all such like a fever dream for me, this entire episode that like, for me, I got the sense that whether it was out of like horsing around or like there was an actual brawl, no matter what, it almost is irrelevant because the point is that Heather did not want to say that she got any sort of injury from Jen Shaw because she wanted to protect Jen, especially considering the situation that Jen was in. And then she was embarrassed about it and then she got into a hole. And I think that's the takeaway is that ultimately she got it, like, I mean, like, if you and your friend are the only two people that are up at 4 a.m. and even if you're like can't really remember what you guys were doing, but then you wake up with the black eye, like it was from like you can have like some vague memory of whatever. Obviously, Jen walks in and she's like her head is in her hands and she's like, "Did I do that to you?" It makes sense. It all makes sense.
But in a court case, intent makes a difference. I mean, if you get hurt in a fight, if you get hurt roughhousing with somebody, that's one thing. That's a fireable offense. I mean, that's not a fireable offense. It's,
yeah, but
it's a different offense.
Luckily, it's not.
But if you have the intent, if someone was mad at you and punched you in the face, that completely changes the crime. I mean, it turns it into an assault instead of an accident. So it does matter. I mean, I'm just not sure why. I don't know. I don't even mean to argue with you about it specifically.
I don't know.
It's just the whole show, I'm just like, why would you do this?
I'm not taking it personally.
I'm going over and over in my mind, like, why would you do this? You just gave the internet so much to come at you for and to demand your firing instead of Monica's.
Are
for
people
lying
doing
and
that?
Getting production in trouble and all of that. What?
Are people doing that on Twitter? People
Yeah.
are like, well,
yeah,
that's
they're saying,
ridiculous.
how is Heather any better? Heather lied, got production in trouble. This could have, gotten people fired. They could have lost their jobs in production, all of this stuff just to protect a fucking criminal, which we knew she was doing all the time. So why is it bad that Monica is getting caught for lying when Heather's just admitting that she's been lying for 2 years in a way that could have gotten people fired,
Heather, well, here's the thing. I think that Heather already was in trouble for this, about that people could have gotten fired. Like, she already was in hot water with production about this, probably, because people could have gotten fired. And Bravo did do an investigation. So that was really bad. And this was her way of squaring it up. Just taking, like, she did have to, like, she had to do this. She had to bring this up and take it.
I like
Because
that
Andy
theory.
gives it to her.
I'll
Like,
accept
Andy,
that theory. Yeah,
Andy gives it to her. So, like, yes, it is sort of bad because it does, it reveals hypocrisy on her end, but she had to do it because it's not like by her saying this that Bravo was suddenly like, wait a second, Bravo was already mad at her about this, I'm sure. So either
Okay.
way.
Well, that would make sense if that's what it was, that she would bring it up for that. I was like, oh no. And
No,
of course
I
you
think she
can't
had
know
to.
how people are going to react to something when you do it. She couldn't have known that the internet was going to have all this to use against her. The minute she said it, I was like, why are you bringing the black eye? Okay. So, let's see. So now Heather is she says something like, Jen was my friend and she pretended to be my friend and I fell for it, but I'll never fall for a pretend friend again. I was a different person then, and I was worried about retaliation, and I still am. But, now I'm a different person than when I started the show.
Right. She does this whole thing. And she also has this stuff where she's like, I'm sorry. She starts apologizing to everyone. She's like, that, and she's like, and that's why I led with I'm sorry, because I would, it makes me sad. I took a lot of hits for this black eye, figuratively and literally, and I apologize. And she says, like, I'm sorry. At some point in here, I'm lost in my notes, but at some point she's like, I'm sorry to you, Andy. I'm sorry to Bravo. I'm sorry to the viewers. I'm sorry for the opportunity that was given to me. Da 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 da. She does the whole like.
Oh yeah, we're like towards the end of her monologue part now. So where she's saying, she's basically turns it back to Monica, and she's like, so after everything I went through with Jen, and then we come in here today. And I thought you would come in here and say, the gig is up, and I'm sorry, and I wanted to be here so badly that I did all of this. But instead, you came in here and you spun and you deflected. And I sat there thinking, this is familiar to me. It reminds me of Jen. And I've defended this behavior, and I'm not revisiting this toxicity. And, Andy, I've said that this is the worst part of the job, And if this is the worst part, it shouldn't be the worst part, because it sounded like she was going to say, and if social media is the worst part of this job, I don't even want this job anymore. Like, if you're going to keep this toxicity, but she backed down from that. And she was like, if that's the worst part, then, well, it shouldn't be the worst part.
Yeah.
So she goes, and the worst part is social media, right? She repeats that. And he goes, yeah, and I've said that. Monica, what do you have to say? And there's just a long pause.
And yeah, and Monica's like, and by the way, I really do want to emphasize, Andy was not happy with Heather. He really was like, you put people's lives and jobs at risk, da, da, da. He really did give it to her as much as Andy gives it to, people on the show to a certain extent. And so Monica's like,
watching that was like really hard. Like, cause her with Jen, like, I do think Heather and I, like, more like we've like gone through a lot, and like honestly Angie too, like we've gone through it with Jen.
And Lisa goes, what about me? And she's like,
I'm the most woman one here.
And he's like, stop. Because for a moment it feels like we're at the part of the reunion where we're putting down our swords. Monica and Heather are going to acknowledge they were both like tortured by Jen Shah, and they're going to realize that they acted out as a reaction to Jen Shah. For a moment, it looks like, oh, we're finally going to get the connection. So then Lisa bursts, what about me? What about me? What did you mention me? And you're like, oh my God, Lisa, shut up.
And he's like, please just let her finish. And then Lisa gets mad at him, and she's like, but it's literally about the attacks. And he goes, please, Lisa. She's nah. I am the most Mormon. Ding dong, ding dong, ding. I'm ringing on your doorbell right now. That's how Mormon I am. I can't believe you're treating me like this.
And Monica's like,
I'm talking about physical abuse, okay?
And so you think Lisa would be like, oh, okay. But Lisa goes, yeah, well, she almost beat me up. She almost.
I guess that doesn't count. She almost beat me up in a van.
And then when he goes, she had fingers in my hair.
She put her fingers right here.
So then Monica has a little monologue where she's like, listen, I'm talking about physical contact. And Angie had a drink poured on her. That's why I'm bringing up Angie. And that's assault. And then she starts crying, and she's like, Heather can hate me all she wants, but you can never deny that she and I went through the same exact trauma. Well, we can, because Heather was in that position because she was forced to be on a cast with this woman and somehow get along with her. You schemed your way into this. I mean, it's just so like...
Either way, Monica goes, she's like, I went about it a different way. Like, Heather kept it all in. I blurted it out, and I'm not going to take that away from her. And I completely understand the fear of retaliation. And I literally get phone calls now from people threatening me because I've come out with so much about Jen and my involvement with the federal trial. And I completely understand where she's coming from and why she made the decisions that she did. So you're like, okay, look at this. There may be some reconciliation. Monica might get a second season. And so Andy's like, well, to the women, you all seem shocked about the black eye, and now that you've had time to process, or as I like to say, unpack. What do you think, Whitney? Whitney's like, well, it just makes me feel terrible. Like, I get why Heather did it. It's Oslo syndrome. Stockholm syndrome. She put all of us at risk. knowing who Jen Shaw was and what she's capable of. I know why Heather did it. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
So Lisa's saying that she was mad at Heather last year because she put producers' livelihoods at risk and people's jobs at risk. And she's like, but to know that Jen did it, like, I get it now. And I understand. And she goes, last year you were broken and ashamed. And I get it now, Heather. And then Whitney comes to sit on her lap. She's like,
I'm gonna hug you. That's what I feel would really be real right now.
so she comes over.
This will heal you right now.
And Heather's like, I've been put at risk again in this scenario. So they're all crying.
Oh, and this
And-
is where, I'm sorry, this is where she had her big apology moment. No wonder why I couldn't find it, because it was way farther ahead. And she's like, I regret believing, what I would say is I'm no longer your bitch, Jen, and I regret believing in you. I regret turning on all of you in her defense. I regret fighting her fight. I regret disrespecting my children, my family, and my opportunity here with Bravo, part of a Comcast network. And I would say, I'm glad you're in prison, Jen, because I might not have had the guts to do it otherwise. Also, I hear you're doing some really cool stuff with Elizabeth Holmes, so congratulations. I don't regret that. That's kind of cool.
Please introduce us when you guys get out. That would be great. She's a big dog.
She's a big dog.
And Andy says, well, you saying that to her and a lunchroom full of lady prisoners with tattoos and cigarettes rolled up in their sleeves. It's the most you could do right now, Heather. So well done. Okay.
And he goes, and frankly, there's nothing left to be said about it. I think you've done it. We shall never talk about this ever again, shall we?
So he asks, the question he always asks at the end of the reunion.
Is there a pathway forward with you guys to work this out?
And Heather's like, listen, Monica, I appreciate what you're saying, but no, like I have to have my boundaries. And I learned that from Jen. And this has been our best season, and we've enjoyed each other. I mean, it's been your best season, but Monica was a big
because of
part of your
Monica,
season.
too.
So,
Yeah.
don't take credit away where credit is due. And she goes, and this is, I just can't wait to spend time with my real friends again.
Yeah, by the way, this 100% was your best season and one of the best seasons of all time in reality TV. But it wasn't because you guys were like bonding and because like you and Lisa mended fences and you let her rap at your book thing, which was fun. It was because there was so much chaos between all of you people. It's the
And it
exact
was
opposite.
caused mostly by Monica, if you think back on it. But it was all, and also people saying, well, Monica, they're going to flop because Monica was the whole reason this season. Monica is a big part of the reason this season was great, but so was Heather. She found her out. And even if Heather knew all this stuff before the season started, as people are alleging, and she set Monica up, she's still great. She still led to a great season of Real Housewives. So I don't really see how you're going to tear any one of these women down at the end of the day. They both nailed it.
This is like an absolutely amazing cast. And so like, while I would like Monica to continue on with him, like this cast has been wonderful. Like this is like what Meredith Marks and Heather and Lisa Barlow and Whitney. Now you got Angie. Like they are a good cast for sure. So Andy is like, and he's like, well, I've got to say, it was great to see all these wonderful relationships. Meredith and Lisa, you guys came together. Heather and Lisa, you guys came together. Meredith and Bathtubs, you guys came together. And Angie, it was...
You're here.
You're here. It was great to see you integrate, I guess. Inter-Greek, you mean? Yeah. So cool. Anyway, by the way, it was cool to see all the women celebrate you, Monica, in Bermuda. I'm going to try this again. I'm just going to try to make people love you, Monica. We can do this, guys. Come on. You said it was the best birthday you ever had. It really made me cheer at home watching. It was really sweet. Come on. You want to say something really nice about these ladies so that way they'll forgive you? Come on, Monica. You can do it.
Yeah. And Andy is like, well, is there anything that Monica could have said to you guys that would have made this better at the reunion? And they're like, no. And Meredith says,
Well, I think it's problematic to move forward in a situation where trust has been decimated.
like, wow, that was quite a mouthful. And Andy says, Monica, I promise that you wouldn't leave without feeling like you had said everything you came to say. Anything else you want to make clear? Give her a spotlight. Give her a microphone. It is now time for your final number, Monica. Do it. Make everyone believe that you belong here. And she's like,
I I mean, I feel like I've been misunderstood, but
He's like, okay, end your monologue. And a 1, 2, 3, Monica. Dun, dun, dun,
You have the floor. Everyone, take out your tissues. It's going to be a 3-hanky monologue. Go for it, Monica. You got anything left you want to say?
no.
And then she just shrugs. I was like, oh my God, what a flop. You just burn booked yourself. You just became the most floppy of all floppies. I can't. Now I'm okay with them firing you. How could you have nothing prepared?
Come on, Monica, do it. You know, Linda was so pissed. You're an actress, Monica. You have to do this for the show. So we go to commercial, we come back, and, we're time for the final toast. It's going to be, what's your warm and fuzzy, and what's your cold and prickly? So Angie K is like, my warm and fuzzy was getting to share Greek Easter and have friends and family come be Greek together at my house. And I think for me, the cold and prickly was the rumors and the nastiness. Bonus Meredith impression. You're welcome.
Whitney's was,
I'm stronger this year. I've been on a healing journey. And also, my prickly was being let down by Monica. Ouch, Monica.
and then Lisa's like, oh my God, I'm like so Mormon and Jewish at the same time. It's like so warm and fuzzy. Also, Jock is just like so warm and fuzzy. You guys, Jack has like a 6-pack.
My other warm and fuzzy is that it's official. I just put my glam person on retainer for the rest of my life. Ah!
My warm and fuzzy was churning butter.
And he's like, seriously, in this entire season?
She's like, I was proud of that, Andy.
So they joke about Meredith making a butter bath line, like butter for the bath.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and my cold and prickly was having an off-camera conversation where we were backtracking and almost dying in a 3-inch snowbank, too. That was a pretty literal cold and prickly situation.
So then, let's see. Heather loved the book event because and also Greek Easter because her and Lisa got to a new level and they're like besties now. They had a very powerful reset, Andy. And her cold prick was the Bermuda reality Von Teese situation. Monica, what was yours? And she's like,
Well, my cold prickly was Bermuda. My warm fuzzy was also Bermuda.
and Andy's like, the best of time, the worst of times. Am I right? You should go back there without the cameras now that you're fired.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, will you ever go back to Bermuda? She goes,
No, just kidding. Yeah, I want to take my kids someday.
so, yeah, he's like, yeah, maybe you can talk to your family without the cameras there or your mom interfering. I'm just trying to throw bones for your way, Monica. Just trying to get you to cry or something.
And she's
So
like,
he goes,
I feel nothing still.
okay, well, we made progress. I hope we can toast to fun times and pray to Joseph Smith that we find another psycho able to rival Monica's gigantic bull's balls that she showed this season, all until the last 5 minutes of this episode.
yeah.
All right, everyone, bring out the dark and stormies. What is this drink? I've never even heard of it before. Ha!
And he's like, hey,
Angie, give us a Greek toast.
oh, well, we would just say Styliamas or to your health, and that's what we do before we have a drink. Oh, another thing we say is Apolakopoulos, which means you look like a trampoline with eyes. Congratulations on your skin, Meredith. Opa.
I knew it was a mistake asking you.
So I don't know why they had that on the cue cards. So he tastes the drink and he hates it. And we kind of back up. And then they decide they're going to give Andy the final line. Andy was like, we're not letting her have the final line, right? Okay, I'll do this. I think we can use a bath. Let's take a jacuzzi. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Andy Cohen. Good night.
Yeah, he actually says, let's take a jacuzzi, which is funny because that sounds like j'accuse, which really sums up the entire season. I accuse. Anyway, I was in French Club, guys. So that's the end
Ben's
of
super smart.
j'accuse is a very famous phrase. So
Well, that was fun, Ben. I'm sorry I was arguing with you earlier. I hope you didn't take it like me being too mean. I was just so frustrated with the whole situation. It wasn't you.
I didn't take it. I was like, okay, Ronnie's on one right now.
It was.
It's nothing new for
reunions
me.
Do it to me, and
I could see you were whipping yourself over the 2.5 hours we were talking. I saw you slowly whipping yourself up into more and more of a frenzy. Like, and then furthermore, I looked up this piece of evidence on Reddit, and this says this and this. I was like, he's going. She's starting. She's starting. So you were whipped up. So by the time we got to that, I was like, let him. Listen, we're allowed to be impassioned. And you know, you felt how you felt, I felt how I felt. It's really like literally okay. It's not. It's Real Housewives. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally not.
But congrats. It was a great season, and we got through it. And I get to not do this for a while, not do the reunion recapping where I just, and the evidence gathering and all of that other stuff. You know, it is nice.
Yeah, not for a while, except for the fact that the Miami and Beverly Hills reunions are, Miami's already taped, Beverly Hills is going to be taping, and Potomac is going to be taping. So guess what? We actually have many reunions coming up very soon.
But they're not filled with crime. You know what I mean? I mean, these are the ones. Salt Lake City, it's been Salt Lake City for a while, or Erica with Tom Girardi stuff, the last Beverly Hills. It's like that's stuff where you really need to be on Reddit looking stuff up. The rest of it's cake. I mean,
Yeah,
what are we gonna look up?
listen. I look up none of it. I just like to. I like to see. No, I don't. Because honestly, I just like to see what Bravo presents to us, and I like to react to what they present to us. The other stuff is fun for me for like crappy hour discussing like the gossip there. But like honestly, when it comes to seeing what they say on the show, I like to take it at face value and just make fun of it at face value. It's too much work to do the other stuff.
no. Well, you know,
But that's why you're
different,
here.
different
Because
strokes.
you know what?
Am I right,
You
guys? Different strokes.
You bring the investigative journalism, and I bring the couch potato journalism.
Different strokes for different blokes. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Go get your streaming crappy tickets. They should be up today. If they're not, check tomorrow. Watchwhatcrappens.com, or your live show tickets just to be there in person in California, Los Angeles, to be exact, on February 17th, 2024. Okay. Thanks for being here on video. Whoever's still watching, this is a long ass.
This is like the
episode.
Killers of Flower Moon. Like, literally longer. Like, we could have honestly, Ronnie, I could have flown to you in Austin the time that it took us to do this video.
All right, everybody. Thank you. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.